Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Hallelujah. I be Yahweh, stand before you today. I be Yahweh, we told you for bringing us through the roadways safely. Yahweh, we told you for all of your people all across the world. Yahweh, continue to look over your people. Continue to help them, to guide them, to be with them in any amount of distress, any amount of fear. Abba Yahweh, continue to shed your light before all of us. Yahweh, continue to just reveal all of our gifts unto us. Show us all the gifts that you have given to us. Show us, Abba Yahweh, how to work those gifts amongst Israel, to be of one body, to be of one like mind, to rely on each other, to have one another and be there for one another. Abba Yahweh, show us that Ahava that you yourself have shown unto Israel. Show us how to Ahava one another, how to be respectful, how to stand and be there for each other in times of need. Yahweh, continue to just reveal even different things to us as far as healing. Show us different things that are natural that we can use to benefit one another. All those things that have come from the earth that you have provided for us. Show us your ways. Show us how to rely on those things and not to rely on all the medications of the world. Yahweh, continue to even heal us in this very hour. Those that may have sicknesses, diseases, illnesses in this time of season, even with the flu going around. Yahweh, continue to heal us. Continue to protect us from all those things. Don't allow those things to even enter our vessels. Yahweh, continue to prepare our souls. Continue to help us to walk this straight and narrow path. Show us the ways. Instill in us your ways. Instill in us your shalom. Instill in us the even not to be afraid in this world. Yahweh, because we rely on you. We know that you are there for your people. You will not forsake your people. So we stand tall and walk in your ways and not be afraid of the world. Not be afraid of even what Shaitan and his children has to come against your people. And Yahweh, even with the traps and snares that he sets, Yahweh, don't allow us to fall in those things. Help us to be strengthened through your son, Yahshua HaMashiach, and go through whatever trials and tribulations we may have to go through and not fall, but to rely on you, because we know you will bring us out of all those things, as your word has said. And Yahweh, we told you because we know that you cannot lie. We told you, Abba Yahweh, because you are just. You are faithful unto Israel. So, Abba Yahweh, please be with us as we continue this way and help us to endure to the very end so we may see salvation. In Yahshua HaMashiach's name we pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. House of Israel, you may be seated. Say Shabbat Shalom to the house of Israel. And say Shabbat Shalom to all that are tuned in or the live stream. Today, I want to read from the book of Tehillim. I want to read from Psalms 111. So Psalms 111 says, praise Yahweh. I will extol Yahweh with all my heart in the council of the upright and in the assembly. Great are the works of Yahweh. They are pondered by all who delight in them. Honor and majestic are his deeds, and his righteousness endures forever. He has caused his wonders to be remembered. Yahweh is merciful and compassionate. He provides food for those who fear him. He remembers his covenant forever. He has shown his people the power of his works, giving them the land of other nations. The works of his hands are faithful and just. All his precepts are trustworthy. They are steadfast forever and ever, done in faithfulness and uprightness. He provided redemption for his people. He ordained his covenant forever. Kodesh and awesome is his name. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. All who follow his precepts have good or tough understanding. To him belongs eternal praise. Hallelujah. So, like we always say, to him he deserves all praise. All the things he has done for us, even with the little bit of snow that we may have had yesterday and today, he has provided us a way to make it home safely. He has provided us a way to come out to the temple and worship him. So that's just a little piece of what Yahweh has done for you. But just imagine all the things that he has done and all the things he is going to do for you, Israel. So that's why I say every day, not just on the Shabbat, every day, continue, Israel, to give Yahweh all the praise. Hallelujah. At this time, I'd like to turn the service over to Zakane Dawid Yakinhana Sr. We want to receive him by saying the highest form of praise, by saying hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom Yisrael. Truly we do total Abba Yahweh for the gift of life, for the blessedness of another precious Shabbat in which he has granted unto us his precious favor, his tender mercies that have allowed our precious moments, in fact, our golden moments, to continue to roll right along. We do total Yah for the beauty of today as a Shabbat. We did miss you all on last Shabbat Eve. I told Yah for that. Even for the beauty of the snow, for the weather, the cool season in which Yah knows, as the scripture mentions, that he would even bless the children of Israel. Even in the future time, he mentions how in summer and in winter shall it be. So for that, we do total Yah, even in the wintry season. There was not a lot of snow, a lot to it. I just decided that we may as well just stand down, just for sake of the safety in the particular society. I remember years ago as a young man, we would brave the cold and the snow. We carried on the Shabbat services, total Yah, my dear brother. We carried on the services in sometimes extreme weather. The old man was quite diligent. I told Yah for that. We've hit an era of time, and in the latter days, even as a generation, sometimes we're not as savvy. I was talking with the elder on last evening and how we don't have the same levels of strength and courage as our forefathers and mothers did in days of old. And this particular era of time, people don't drive as safe or as logically as they should. So sometimes it is wise to just not be out in the streets. Accidents and things do happen. Sometimes 4 snowflakes can cause 3 accidents. And these are the types of things that we, sorry about that, strike that from the record. But these are just the things that happen, you know. So people can, he says 6 accidents, 4 snowflakes and 6 accidents. The odds are increasing every day. So we do Toda Yah for the ability to barak his precious name, to walk with him even in the latter days. Notice that I say even in the latter days. We're in a time frame where the world, this thing is not going to roll on forever the way that the world thinks that it will. Yah's not going to allow this to go on. If it were to continue in the manner in which it does, there would be no one saved. I was talking to a wicked man yesterday on a particular job site, just listening to his mindset and the general mind of people in the world. I've learned over the years, especially by just living according to the Torah of Yahweh, I've learned over the years that a lot of times there are some people you just have to, ignore them. If you can avoid a conversation with them, you just do well, you know. But then there are others where they force you to just spiritually, it's like they force you to just drop your bag wherever you are and go to war with them. And this is one of those situations yesterday where I couldn't afford to just let the man think that he was cramming his personal analysis and views of the world and everything down my throat. Now, a co-worker of mine, he was there and he walked out the room. He heard me when I said, wait a minute, let me explain something to you. And he said, well, let me go. He left because, you know, I was going to let the old man have it. And I don't believe in that. And I say that whether you are black, white, brown, red, or yellow. I don't believe in allowing the nations, not in this era of time, to impose their views upon me as Yisrael. That's how we got in the trouble that we were in. We wanted to be like all of the other nations. And we tend to accept the behavioral patterns and the characteristics of the other nations. We accepted them in such a way and so much in efforts to be like them that we were so far removed from Abba Yahweh that to explain specific conditions to us that we face only compounds the illogic that we think is right. Because one question will lead to another foolish question that then requires you to answer that question, which leads to an even more deeper and more foolish question, because our minds have become so warped in transgression. We have gone so far from Yahweh that people do not know how to calm down and to sincerely worship Yahweh. We use words in this language every day that more often than not, we simply do not know the meaning of them. Can you get my glasses for me? I left them right on the desk. We simply do not know the meaning of them. And by not knowing the meanings of these words, we then ensnare ourselves even further in the sins and the wickedness of this world, Toda Yah. So in the sin of this world, we continue to just depreciate in value to Yahweh. Did you hear what I just said? We depreciate in value to Yahweh. I want to show you something that Yahweh said to the children of Israel about dropping idols. In fact, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about things offered to idols. And I want to lay that out because a lot of times we are into idolatries or idolatrous practices in ways that we don't even sometimes understand. And some of these things can prohibit our growth and development in Yahweh Yahshua. And we have in him the forever perfect sacrifice, all that we need to become perfected ourselves. All that was in man, Yahweh says, to obtain salvation. All that was needed, he put it within us. And that's sad that we hit a particular point in life where we cannot be saved because we cannot recollect all the things that Abba Yahweh has said unto us and has put within us that we might be saved. And I want to say this with a sad heart. This is really a heavy heart when you cannot get the people of Yahweh to see that Yahweh has all power and that the power of Shaitan, it is limited. Even the beauty of last week's message closed itself out with me in a conversation where I was compelled to show the difference of the power of Yahweh over the power of Shaitan. Yeah, it's so beautiful when I reflect back on a conversation that I had to explain how, as I said, we're going to teach on the power of Yahshua versus the power of Shaitan. And that we as a nation, we give Shaitan a little too much credit for some of the things that are taking place in this earth when it is his job to deceive. So if his job is to deceive, you also by default must be a participant in the deception. You listening? When Adam was questioned, he said, the woman that thou gavest me. He shifted the blame to the woman and to Yahweh. Listen to what he said now. He said, the woman that you gave me. Think of what was said now. He shifted the blame. But the reality is, men, he gave you the radar, the dominion. He told you what to do, and we went astray. He said, let him have dominion now over the fish of the sea, over the fowls of the air, over everything that creepeth upon the face of the earth. He gave him dominion. He couldn't blame that completely on the woman. Now, he listened, but he shifted that blame. And from that moment, man began to fall. And our state with Yahweh would have to be the most heartbreaking aspect in all of creation. Think about that. He made you and gave you so much dominion that even today, with all the knowledge of everyone, everywhere in the world combined, we have not figured it out. Isn't that something? Think of it. You got some scientists, you got some scholars, you got some people with some thoughts in their head now. I mean, whether it is of Yahweh or of their own accord, you got some thoughts in this world. But yet with all of that and what Yah intended in the fullness of life that he breathed into man, we have not figured it out. The futility of man's wisdom, when held in opposition to Abba Yahweh, it will always fail. Let's look at the book. Y'all all right? Let's go to the book of the Psalms. Let's go and we're going to talk about things offered to idols. We're going to go in the book of the Psalms. Look at Psalm 96. I want to start right here at an essential point. Because a lot of times people today, I listen to people's talk and their dialogue and I say again, sometimes some things anger you in such a way where you're compelled. You got to just set people straight. You know, we're in this world, man. And I'm going to say this. And if by chance any of you that are listening by way of the live stream that are of the European or Caucasian destiny, you have no control over who you are and how you were born. But if you sit still with us today and you look at these scriptures and you humbly acknowledge the conversation that our forefathers had with your forefathers, I'm going to show you some things that they literally said to your forefathers that you're going to have to face today. See, I say that because I tell you all about it. I don't hide anything that takes place in my life. I do not hide it because some of these things happen in our lives as a witness and as a record. Things that happen in your lives, it happens to you as a witness and a record of the power and the beauty of Yahweh's word. And as an Israelite, I just do not believe that Israelite men are to forever just hold their tongue and let things go by and let things blow over. You're not going to whip everybody. You're not going to win every argument. But there are just some times you're going to have to shut those spirits down that speak in people, because there is a force and there is a presence within the people that currently rule this world There is a force where they must be the dominant figure. I don't know what the hell it is, but they've got to always be right. They got to always be the best. They got to always be the baddest. They got to always be the most unprecedented. And whenever you stand up to them, you're a bad man. So I was a bad man yesterday. Make no difference to me. I was a bad man. I let the man know. Now look, let me explain something to you real quick. Because he said he got rid of his first wife. She was a nasty whore. She was this, she was that. She was a white woman, like himself. Then he tried a black woman. He said, black women are all crazy. He says, you all think black women are crazy. Yeah, they're crazy, but white women are crazy too. So I stopped him. I said, look, I don't think all black women are crazy. Don't stand here and presume to speak for me. My mother was a black woman. My grandmothers were black women. I didn't see them as crazy. So don't you dare stand in my face and assume to give me my thought process. So the arrogance of this man, he proceeds to go on and to tell myself and a coworker about black people. So I says, he's a superintendent, he's a man with some authority. He has a little bit of authority over me. So I said it anyway. I said, Dave, listen, man, Dave, stop talking. You're a stupid bastard. I said it to the man. I don't care about his authority. It makes no difference to me. I said, you're a stupid bastard. So let me explain something to you. I've been a black man all my life, and I don't think I want to change. But I'll be damned if I'm going to let a white man tell me about life as a black man. Don't you ever presume to tell me that. I don't care nothing about your position. I said, now this is personal. You've crossed the boundary. And I said it right on the job site in front of the rich white owners of the complex we're working on. And I said it because I knew that they were standing and listening. I let the man know. I said, let me explain something to you about life. Yahweh made man, and he made him in his image. I said, truth be told, he didn't even use the word man. He created ish. I said, man is German. Manish. You said that you're made by the Manish God. I said, do you know Yahweh? I said, let me tell you something right now. I said, your friend, he talked to my employee as if he were a little boy, as if he were a little rat. I said, but he didn't talk to me like that. He talked to him, little child, 22 years old. Because he's a multi-millionaire. He can talk to the child like that. And we got the contract and we work here for you. I said, but let me explain something to you. We're in this room. I don't see anyone in this room that is above me by any means. I said it to the multi-millionaire to let him know we're men. You're not going to talk to me because you have money. We take your money away and there's nothing to you. We take the Ruach away from you, there's nothing to you. But Yahweh made man and he made him in his image long before you ever appeared. Come on, I wasn't going to let these men talk to me like that. You're not going to tell me about black women. You're not going to denigrate black women. And I say this to you and I say this to your sons and daughters. Don't get caught on these job sites. And in your jobs, your professions, in school. Don't be laughing and giggling and joking and playing with white folk. When you laugh and giggle and play with them, you will be the butt of their jokes. Don't play with them. Don't let them disrespect you. Don't let them denigrate you. Stay humble, stay calm, but be forceful in the Ruach of Abba Yahweh. Because it's time that men and women all over the world stand. And there's only one thing to stand for. You stand for truth. You stand for justice. You stand for righteousness. And though I mentioned those three things are one in Abba Yahweh. When it comes to the truth, don't let nobody back you down. So the man proceeds to tell us about his filthy, immoral life. He's tired of black women. He's tired of white women. Now he's going to try the Asian women. And go through all that. I let him know to his face, you're a filthy man and you have nothing to teach me about life. Don't talk to me like that. I said, my wife, I've known her since I was 14 years old. I don't need to go around and experience everybody in the world to know about life and to know about women. You're not going to denigrate anyone to me. He says, I can tell you're an educated man, but education means nothing. I said, and on that we agree. That's exactly why I dropped out of your colleges. So then he froze. These people are out of their mind. They don't know Yahweh. And they want to tell everyone everything. And they know nothing. Come on. So he says, we got to go out. We got to go out. I said, I don't believe in going. I ain't going nowhere. Told my friend, crank the motor on that truck. We're going on down the road. We did them a favor by coming out to work for them one of the coldest days of the year to get something done that they needed done. Should have done it in June when we were down there. It's how wise they are. They're so wise, they're stupid. Because of their money. And they don't have the understanding of this book here. And they want to take command of your lives, starting with this. We do not understand that. Filthiest men on the planet. Men that don't know the Most High, that don't worship, don't honor. They have no construct. They have no elementary understandings of Yahweh, Yahshua. And they want to rule the planet, man. Right now, Yahweh has given it over to them because we have failed to obey him. This is the only reason we are under them. He has given this world unto them. The book of Job says, in I believe 9:24, says that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. If not, who is he? And where is he? I'm going with that question myself. If this earth is not given into the hands of the wicked, then who is the wicked one that's supposed to take command of? Who is he and where is he? Because it can't get any worse than this. Come on, man. So I want to say again to any of my European American, European Gentile friends, whosoever you may be, you tune into this live stream, you're going to hear the truth of Yahweh's word. But we're not going to water the truth down to satisfy you. I'm not going to try to be politically correct. We're going to teach the truth. In Yahweh's word, he is not the God of the Ku Klux Klan. He will accept all people from all nations that turn unto him. The children of Israel, they do not have a monopoly on Abba Yahweh. Yahweh has a monopoly on them. He chose the children of Israel. And in his infinite mercy, he chose to extend that mercy unto all nations. Now, where the nations get out of hand is that they diminish the value of Israel. I stand bold on the fact. I was telling an elder last night. I said, listen, there's some conversations after a while you move beyond. You cannot grow if you stay stagnated in the same conditions. I don't keep arguing with the Jewish community about whether or not they're the real children of Israel. That's an argument now that we're beyond them. Sometimes there's people, you see them and you don't see them. You got to do them like the rich white folks tried to do you. They tried to see you and not see you. Well, with the fake righteous, and how about that? With the fake righteous, you have to see them and not see them because you're too busy striving for righteousness yourself. Is that making sense, Israel? When the truth comes up and the value of who you are comes into play, all the world is going to be shocked when they come to learn just who the real children of Israel are. And it's one of the world's best kept secrets. That's where people have to calm down and just know what they know and keep it moving. I'm not going to keep on arguing with somebody who's pretending to be me. I don't think we understand the depth of what it means to pretend to be Israel. Listen to this. I'm going to show you how even stupid, if I can use that word. I'm going to show you how even stupid the fallen angels are. Do you realize that those evil spirits, those stars who Shaitan's tail drew, the third part of them from the heavens, that rebelled with him, they don't want to burn. Do you realize that those evil spirits take possession of vessels in this earth to pretend that they are Yisrael, to seek to get back into the favor of Abba Yahweh to prevent burning? Do you all understand that? Those are evil spirits that think the Almighty to be so blind, deaf, and dumb that if they masquerade in these vessels, that they can replenish themselves, that they can be delivered. You don't have no time to argue with something like that. When you come to the knowledge of self and who you are as Yisrael, you're too busy trying to get it right. You hear me? You see them. You know what's going on. You keep moving. That's what you're going to have. I'm not going to stand on no corner and argue with you, as you call them, Yisah and all this and that. I'm not going to argue with them. I'm going to argue with me. I'm going to get me right so that I might keep the beauty of what Abba Yah says. Listen to this. Psalms 96:1. Oh, sing unto Yahweh a new song. Sing unto Yahweh all the Eretz. The whole earth is going to praise Yah. Do they do that now? The whole earth right now, they're preoccupied with their cities, their wealth, the value of things that they can accomplish in this lifetime. The whole world is filled with that. Sing unto Yahweh, Baruch his name. Blessed be the name of Yahweh. Show forth his salvation from day to day. Show the world that Yahshua is in you by obeying. Hallelujah. Show the world that. You show it by obeying. You don't have to wear no special clothes. You ain't got to have no sign on your back. You ain't got to single yourself out. We're in captivity. We're in captivity, man. They have the world right now. And you know what I say? It's yours. You stole it, as you like to say. You stole it. fair and square. You keep it. You hold on to it. Because the precious king is coming. A dear sister sent me a news article. I was looking at it. It was interesting. She was sending it to me. I had it in the paper. I said, well, I'll completely read it when I'm done. She sent me an article about NASA. NASA has appointed, hear me now. NASA has appointed a guardian of the universe to protect them from alien invaders. Yeah, let's chuckle. Let's all get it out right now. Because we know that according to the book of Revelation, he said, I saw the kings of the earth gather together and their armies gather together against him that sat on the horse and against his army. If nothing's coming to get you, why are you so paranoid? Why are you so far prepared? You make your little stupid Hollywood movies, Guardians of the Universe and all that. You get all your little superheroes together to fight and protect the earth. Now, this is interesting for people that watch TV. Have you ever noticed that all the Hollywood movies have to make everything that's coming out of the heavens to kick their butt? Everything coming got to be ugly. It's got to be vicious. It's got to be an alien. Now, wait a minute now. You're the epitome of beauty on earth. And everything that comes to overthrow you after all you do. You can't even be poor little black people. Right. But there's some ugly aliens are coming that just might be an ally to the poor little black people that you've never treated right. And now you want to fight them. Maybe you're misreading what they're really in fear of. Come on, man. I leave them to their devices. You ain't going to win this one. You can make him out to be an alien and everything that you want, but the King of Kings is coming, and he's going to take your earth from you. And I rejoice in that. There is no mind in all this universe now, currently. There is no mindset like the mindset of the white male. There's nobody thinking like him. Nothing thinks the way he thinks. He's got to be in and in control of everything. But that's the same thought process of Shaitan. How in the hell can you have an identical thought process and then not be kinship? I'm going to say that in this. Somebody said it's written. That's what Yeshua said. He didn't say your mama. He said your father. He said you are of your father, the devil. That's what he said. Now let me see if I got this straight. He was the Word. And he was the Word made flesh. And he cannot lie. I'm going with the book. And I would say to any white person, anyone, we don't have to hate you. We do not have to hate you. But we're not going to back down from you either. Let's be clear on that. We're going to preach the truth of Yahweh's word, because there is so much. People say, well, the color doesn't matter. That's what we say. Only thing, we're stuck with the question that nobody wants to answer. And the question is, if color didn't matter, why then did you have to change it? Color don't matter. Color don't matter. Color don't matter. But you changed it. Declare his glory among the heathen. Notice how he uses the word heathen. This is the most vile. This is the most vicious. This is the most undisciplined characterization that the scripture places upon the nations. He uses the word heathen, immoral, undisciplined, sexually untrained, unbridled, socially unconditioned for anything. He uses the word heathen. In the Hebrew, the goyim, the goy. He uses that word. The Torah of Abba Yahweh, it is your discipline. It is your morality. It is your righteousness. It is your justice. Now you see why the preachers today, they don't preach out of this. Come on, man. These are unrighteous men. They are greedy dogs, is what the scripture says that they are. Too dumb to bark. Nobody want no mutt dog around the house. The burglar come in, he hopped the fence. Dog right there just looking at him. Won't say nothing. Won't even burp. What you need? Hey, after all your stuff gets stolen, everything is gone, one more thing got to go. That dog. Because he didn't even bark. Yahweh equated those false prophets the same way. He said that they are dumb dogs. They are greedy dogs. All they're after is money. Too dumb to bark. That's why I don't play with preachers. And then preachers know people can give you all the money in the world. That still ain't going to save you. Then ain't going to save them. So you do better off. You just preach and teach and tell people the truth. They like you. They like you. They don't. They don't. So what? Get the sin off of you. Tell the people the truth. You're going to die. You ain't going to take the money nowhere with you. You hear me? I ain't seen a billionaire yet eat all this money. So, well, I'm getting old. I'm going to die. I got $3 billion and I don't want nobody to have it. Bring it to me. So what you going to do with it? I'm going to eat it all before I die. Ain't nobody did it yet, did they? They die and they leave it. And then they can't live forever. You know what living forever for them? They make an oath. They teach their children in these fraternities and sororities. They teach their children. The scripture says that they name their lands after themselves. So then they say, you'll live forever because someone will forever say your name. So then they name these universities after themselves. They name these streets after themselves. They name towns after themselves. So somebody's forever saying your name. That don't mean you living forever now. Come on, y'all gonna bring you back. Your pain and your sorrow going to live forever. You better start reading the book, rich men. So we're out of our mind as a people, and we follow them. Even the poorest of the poorest, we try to be like them. I don't try to be like that. I don't want to be like the rich man. I want to be like the owner of all. He commands that we be like him. You hear me? I want to be like him. He says, suffer the little children to come unto me and forbid them not. These people today, they don't even like you and your children. Come on, man. The idiot, I talked to that idiot man. He's trying to talk about black crime. I said, let me ask you a question about this crime. I said, do you realize that there's more crime that happens in the suites every day than there are that happens in the streets? Do you realize that? Oh, yeah, I realize that. I said, well, why do you take that attitude that most typical white folks take? All you ever know when you want to say something bad about black people is street crime. I said, let's go back 30 years in this town. I grew up in Baltimore, Dundalk. I said, yeah, dirty Dundalk. I slammed it. I wanted to say it. I said, in this town right here, they had job training programs in the 70s and the 80s. Children went in and they benefited from that. They went on to careers or what have you, and crime rate did not exacerbate. So then they took Job Corps. So the generation came behind them, they didn't have that. They were left baffled. Then they took the summer jobs programs. Then they took the trades and all these things out of the school. You took all these things from these young black children. You mean to tell me black youth did that? Or did some, and I said these words, did some jackass with a $5,000 suit and a gold pen take it? And he stood there and he looked at me. But I said, no buts. This is not a strip show. No buts. I said, people like you, you're liars. You're so prejudiced. You have these thoughts in your mind that no one can make you see past your own self-imposed righteousness. And I said, man, it stinks to high heaven. I said, people like yourself, you're so dumb, you don't even see when your own people are against the system and try to tell you the truth. I said, what was George Wilder saying that day down in Laurel, Maryland, when they shot him 8 times? What was coming out of his mouth? He says, I don't know, I wasn't there. I said, I know. You know what he says to us? He says, I'm just looking at you guys. You know, you guys are ugly. That's what he said. He tells me in the man, we're ugly men. We're ugly. But he's 43 years old. And he looks 60. See, that's why I say, no, don't play with white folks. Don't play with them. There's no playing. There's no time to be playing. If I got to talk with you, I'm going to talk to you about what I'm working on, or whatever the case may be, or the scriptures. I've had them come here and think themselves to be so wise that they're going to start telling me what I am and am not going to preach. Now, I will humbly say to all the white folks that listen and watch this channel, so that when you come here, you don't get surprised. We don't trust you any more than you trust us. But we're going to reverse the process on you. If you ever come here to visit us, you're going to be treated kindly. But I'm going to tell you what we won't do to you. We ain't going to put you in the back like you did us. I've commanded the men here at Israel, bring you straight down front. I want you down front, where I can see your facial expressions as I preach and teach the truth of Abba Yahweh's word. I don't want you in the back. We ain't got no separate bathroom for you or anything. You ain't going to take over. You ain't going to bring your white supremacist, your superiority mentality and your mindset, because I will open this book and I will preach your funeral while you are yet alive. Because it is the power of Yahshua. It is the only thing that's going to stop that wicked mind that guides your vessels. And you do not know Yahweh. If you knew Yahweh, this world would be a much better place. So we're not going to play with you white folk. Dylan, we shot black folks and got taken to Burger King and got treated like royalty for the murder of black people. And you all know that. There was a nationwide campaign going on to just murder you in the street. They need to get rid of you. I'm telling you all, you need to go back and look up Sidney Wilhelm's book, Who Needs the Negro? Go back and read what he said eventually would have to happen, because you would become a liability and not an asset. This country don't need you. And you need Yahshua. So the book commands us here to declare his glory among the heathen. You have to introduce the heathen to Yahweh. But before we can introduce the heathen to Yahweh, we have to reacquaint ourselves with him. And that's what Israel is finding so hard to do. Declare his wonders among all people. Listen to this. Yahweh is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. You hear that? You place that precious name above all gods. Let people know Yahweh is no God. He is the creator. He is the Almighty. People say, well, how you all know that? He named himself. And that name, when it is uttered, it means whatever it is that he designed it to mean. When he says, I cause to exist, he meant that. I challenge every dumb and ignorant atheist in the world. Since you don't think that he exists and you feel like you're self-existent, I challenge you, and I got plenty of time. I challenge you, stop breathing. Stop your own breathing. And come on back 2 hours later, 3 hours later, a week. Come on back, tell me about your experiences, since you're so wise. If you look at the human body and the way that it's constructed, there had to be an intelligent design. And there had to be a level of intelligence far above that of man's mere thinking. There are millions of men on this earth, billions of us out here. And I'll say it again, our thinking capacity has not traveled past what Yah wants us to see, that which he put right in our face. We haven't figured it out. Black, brown, red, yellow, or white. The problem with this world in the 21st century is that nobody stood up to white people. Everybody's just tolerated them. Everybody teaches that. Well, I ain't say nothing. I just let it go. Well, then that's you. Some of that stuff, I ain't letting it go no longer. The truth must go forth now. Hold it up. Don't let the truth. That's what the scripture says. Yahweh saw the truth crushed to the ground, and it displeased him. That's what the book said. Hold up the truth now. Hold it up. You hold up the bloodstained banner of Yahshua. He's coming. Mighty funny, Jesus ain't stepped in and helped none of us yet. Ain't done it yet. And people get offended when you say that. I say it just to offend them. I say it all the time, just to offend them. I want to see people's reaction when I mention it. So Jesus ain't nothing. They say, huh? Yeah, I said that. Jesus ain't nothing. Listen to this. He is to be feared above all gods. Did you all hear that? For all the gods of the nations are idols. All the gods. But Yahweh made the heavens. You hear that? That's your jump off point. We're going to talk about things offered to idols. That's your jump off point. I don't care who they praying to right now. If they're not calling on the one who introduced himself unto the children of Israel and said, I am Yahweh, that is my memorial forever. You got even Hebrews now. They want to argue about how you say the name. Listen, you need to learn and understand something right now. You go to school and don't even learn how to say certain things right now. We don't know. People argue with tomato, and it's the same little piece of red fruit sitting on the table. You hear what I just said? Anyway, they argue whether or not it's a fruit or vegetable. It doesn't make a difference to me. Then they want to argue over the name and how the name is to be said. He said it is my memorial. See, when you start telling people, look, don't come to me with that internet research, okay? Now they got the internet up and running, now they're arguing over that. Net neutrality is going to do something. Wait a minute. There's supposed to be so much truth on it. Now you got to argue over how you're going to dispense the truth. That's Shaitan's perfect plan. Keep everybody arguing, bickering over something. Always a dispute, correct? But the truth of Abba Yahweh's word, you go back and start researching and studying and reading. Prior to the era of the internet, you don't find all that confusion on the name. You do not find it. Now, this is where a lot of time I lose a lot of my friends. Once I start telling them about material and research beyond the age of the internet, now they can't, if they can't Google it, they done. That's the truth. If people can't look it up right, then they're done. Throw a book at them, man, you done heard them. Oh, my head. Can't work a book. We're in deep trouble. Things are going so technologically advanced now. What are you going to do? Look, we got computers and different things in our home. They want to get it off your home. They want to get it off the desk. They want to get it off the desk and into you. Come on. We're so busy trying to be so technologically advanced, following everything that they have ever said. That's not the truth. Idolatry has its roots in the worship of gods. And the scripture says that all of them are simply idols. Let's go to the book of Exodus chapter 22. I want to show you some things that Yahweh said. Oh, I want you all to hang on. Because by the time we get back into the New Testament, I want to show you how when the apostles were talking to those Gentile nations, how they were not playing. And see, a lot of this stuff is in the Bible, and the language and the content of it is so plain that you'll say, wow, I didn't know that they said that. They let them people know, look, you didn't know Yahweh. You out there worshiping dumb idols. That's what he said to them. You turned to Yahweh because we taught you the truth. They had to be told that, just as Israel had to be told. Exodus 22, verse 20. Let's look at this, okay? He that sacrificeth unto any god, except Yahweh only, he should be utterly destroyed. You see that? Don't go sacrificing to their gods. Only unto Yahweh. Otherwise, you get yourself destroyed. People say, well, my grandma been doing it. My mom been doing it all our lives. It's good enough for them. It's good enough for me. Well, let me tell you about Yahweh's precious mercies. He said that in times of our ignorance, there were things that he winked at. He looked over it. I let that go. I let it go. Just like even in my conversation, I was real mild with the man. People that know me, they know I get off on them folks. I don't play with them. I was real mild with the man, even in beating him up with respect to his position. But I had to let him know, I don't care about your position. I want you to understand, you're trying to force me into thinking something that ain't got nothing to do with this job. This is construction. You all in my social life. You all in my spiritual life. You're trying to impose something on me. I said, now you out your lane, boy. Nah, this ain't got nothing to do with construction. And I wasn't having it. And I'm saying this to you, it's just right here. The nations, they try, during these pagan holidays, this season, all my life, my family ain't never put up a Christmas tree. All my life, my family ain't never cooked no turkey for the holiday season. They ain't do none of that. All our life, my father worked in the construction trade. They gave him jobs and gifts and bonuses and different things. There was a little man named Mr. Monroe. Every Thanksgiving, Mr. Monroe would come to our house. And he'd meet my father. And he'd open that trunk. And he'd get that turkey and go on about his business. The job gave him away. My father didn't always stand around. I don't celebrate. I don't. You cannot force what you believe on the world. You have to know what you believe. And just stand on. People say all the time, happy holiday, happy same to you. Keep on moving. I don't celebrate it. That's the same to you. Or sometimes you don't even have to say anything. Everything cannot always be straightened out in this lifetime. You hear me? So my father would do that every year. He called Mr. Monroe. You know, Mr. Monroe had a lot of children. He had like 12 or 13 children. So my father said, well, you come on by here and you get it. They gave it to us on the job. It's in the trunk. I left it out there. He opened the thing. It might be 20, 30 pounds. I don't know. You're a little child. I don't know how big it was. But either way, it was big. And my father would give it away. They give you the day off, all that. We were home. We wasn't working. We were just in the house. We didn't do anything special to celebrate that. We didn't honor it. We didn't keep it. We paid it no mind. I can't tell you all what it's like to put up a Christmas tree because I never went through it. I never went through because my daddy just didn't teach it. He didn't believe in it. We didn't go out and celebrate and drink in New Year's because it wasn't our Kodesh day. So we paid it no mind. So I'm like that today. If there are some days and there's some work and there's some things I got to do and it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or something, if I got to get up and do it, it's another day. I just do it. Because Yahweh told Israel, he said, I despise your feast days. He told Israel that. But his Kodesh days, we ignore them. We don't even take delight in the Kodesh days of Abba. That's when you get to celebrate. That's when you get to dance before Yahweh. That's when you rejoice before him. You have Kodesh days that have a far deeper, greater, more significant meaning than their damnable, dirty Memorial days. And that's what they are. These are days in which they memorialize things. I'm not just hitting the Memorial Day, all their feast days. I'm just curious as to why they don't put them all on one day. Get it over with. April 1st will be a good day. I'm going to just throw that out and keep it moving. That's right. They need to come out, celebrate Christmas, celebrate Thanksgiving, go vote, 4th of July, New Year, put it all on April 1st. Since that's one of their days, put it all on that day and get it over with. Now, when that hit, and the people out there really realize what I just said, they'll be laughing for a week. But I'm dead serious. Put it all on one day. Get it over with. Y'all will give us days and they come around. We don't know nothing about it. So now he warned Israel, he that sacrifices unto any God. And he uses that word here. He lets them understand that. Save Yahweh only. He shall be utterly destroyed. That's what he said you have to do. You must understand. Listen, let me say this right now. Don't y'all get happy, go out here and start killing folk. It's not what we're saying. We're saying when Israel were given the law to go into the land, they had to carry out the law of Yahweh. And Yahweh wanted Israel to carry out the law of the land for a reason. Because the beauty of the blessing. Did you know that the fruit and the vegetation and the plant life would start to grow and to blossom the moment Israel start to put the rules and the laws of the Torah in effect in the land? Even that which couldn't be touched in the first year and all that they done. After that, he released the blessings of the earth. Even when y'all commanded that the debts be released every 7 years. Even when y'all commanded the year of Jubilee and all the time frame. Had Israel fully stood in the counsel of Abba Yahweh, the blessing of Yahweh upon Israel as a nation would have been so great and so profound. You think that they can look at the earth from their satellites. The whole world would have seen the beauty of the blessing of you as a nation following Yahweh. I don't know why people think that the children of Israel can't do nothing. We just have this boring, straight up and down religious life. Israel is not a religious people. Let's be clear on that. We are not a religious people. We have a way of life. We have a cultural aspect. Everything that all of us do. I don't care what you do in your house. If you all go to work and you come home and you all gather at specific times, you get home, dinner is ready. Everybody sit down and eat at a specific time. Somebody may have a specific job. This one got the trash. This one does the dishes. This one puts them away. Different things. Do you realize that everything that you do like that repeatedly, all those little things are cultural? So now put the Torah together. And look at the things that Yahweh commands that Israel do. It's all cultural. It is not a religion. You hear me? Religion is them guys in them long robes, strolling down that aisle with a little boy under there walking that saying, yeah, I said it. Put them out there. That's religion. Religion. Come to your door and kick the door in 2 and 3 o'clock and you raped my daughter, get him, hang him, put him up a tree. That's religion. You ever notice how religious Jesus Christ is? He don't say nothing. Why are you hanging him? He don't say nothing. He don't speak to their mind. It's all right. Pass laws, do everything. Listen, people say, well, he freed the slaves. We're now free. No. That's not what the book says. Even their own law says slavery shall not exist except as a form of punishment for having been convicted of a crime. Now you go back and you start reading. Once you come up out of so-called slavery, new laws came on the book. New ways by which to enslave you. So then you go about the process. Generation after generation after generation of repeatedly locking up one particular group above all the others so that you can keep them enslaved. These are the laws of the land, and they are on the books. And people are so wicked that they don't want to see past that. All they see is black street crime. Funny thing how nobody never see suit crime. Funny thing how nobody never see suite crime. I mean SUITE. Up in the suite. More crime take place in them office buildings than they do out on them street corners. You ain't gonna convince me of that. I know the laws of the land and I know how it works. And if Yahweh don't step in and bust it up, ain't gonna be nobody delivered. These people would destroy the whole earth before they just voluntarily give it up. They're not gonna do that, okay? So Yahweh told Israel the laws for when they go into the land. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13. Let's look at this close. Nobody wants to talk about things like this, but how you gonna get over it if you don't bring it up? I had a family member, I spoke with her the other day. Poor sister. Just happened to come across my mind. So I called her. And she said to me in tears, I got to be honest, I'm just so glad to hear your voice. She said, do you have a minute? I just need to vent to you and say something to you and ask that you pray for me. I already knew about the condition and I said, I already did that. She said, no wonder I started feeling better when I saw your number come across the screen. You all say told her Yahweh, but here's what I told her. I said, you get the attention off me. You get the focus off me. Because it ain't nothing great that I did. I just prayed. I begged. I pleaded. The one that lifted the burden, I said, you give him the honor. You give him the glory. You give it to Yahshua because I'm powerless. And I got off the phone. I ain't going to take no credit for work that I did not do. Okay? We're going to give that credit to Abba Yahweh. And as we, Israel, give Yahweh all the credit, give Yahshua all the credit, then and only then can we come out of the thing unscathed. And we must understand that as a people. Listen to this. I'm going to come back to that point. I'm going to show you something. Deuteronomy 13:6. He says, if thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul. You see that? Stop right there real quick. Your friend. If you have somebody that's just so near and dear to you, so close to you like your own soul, entice you secretly, saying, let us go and serve other mighty ones, which you have not known. You know your fathers, namely the gods of the people which are round about you, or nigh unto you, or far off from you, from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. You shall not consent unto him. You hear that? Nor hearken unto him. Neither shall thine eye pity him. Neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. Now, I want y'all to understand this. This is Torah. This ain't no murderous process of the law. If we go into explaining this deeper and deeper, there was a procedure behind that. But I want you to understand, Israel wasn't just going around murdering and killing. Because see, you have people killing one another just for sake of this. Say, oh, yeah, I killed him because he's trying to get me to go worship a God. Something that anybody around and hear it, you done lied on them. You understand what I'm saying? No, there were provisions for how Israel was to live. Now let's be clear. Yahweh's law was so strict that everybody knew this provision was in the law. And by setting there in the law, people were so fearful of it, nobody would dare do it because nobody would want the penalty. Does that make any sense? People think that they just run around having the right to go kill. No, 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 no. Look, the provisions in the law, certain things you do today, you receive automatically the death penalty. So some people don't want to do it today. Same provision. Is it making sense? Same provision. It's the law of the land today. You do certain things, you're going to get the death penalty. Most people don't want to die. So they say, well, I ain't going to commit that. I ain't going to do that. Same thing here in Yahweh's law. You go around killing everybody every day. Yeah, she was trying to get me to go worship such and such a thing. I killed her. Get the body out of here. That's not how it works. But thou shalt surely kill him. Thine hand shall be first upon him. Now, in other words, now, you testifying to this. You're saying that this is what they done. They're brought before the judges, and they have to be judged. This is what you're saying. You have to be first. Y'all would put you right out there. You bringing this accusation, then this is what you must do first. Yahweh would know whether or not it's true, but you put your hand to it and it ain't true, and you say it and put that person out there, you become a murderer. I want you to understand that. This was the law when they were in their own land. Thou shalt surely be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. And thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he hath sought to thrust you away from Yahweh your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. Did he bring them out? From the house of bondage. Did he bring them out? And all Israel shall hear and fear. You see this? This wasn't every day. He said they shall hear this type of law and reverence this. What's the death penalty for killing the police? I mean, what's the penalty? Guess I asked the question, huh? What's the penalty for killing a police officer? Anybody know now? Because I slipped it up the wrong way, right? All right, but that's it. It's death penalty, right? Just check it in most instances. All right, so now that's the law. Here it is. Israel shall hear it and fear, and shall do no more such wickedness as this is among you. So then that lets people off the hook, because everybody know I ain't going to do that wickedness, right? And if thou shalt hear say in one of thy cities, which Yahweh your Elohim hath given thee to dwell therein, saying, certain men of the children of Belial are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let's go and serve other gods, which you have not known. Then shalt thou inquire and make search and ask diligently. And behold, if it be truth, and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought among you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword. Hey, we got a lot of Hebrews running around out here in them little dresses and the tassels and heads wrapped up, preaching in the name of the Lord. Now what? They know the name of Yahweh, it is the truth, but they keep going in the name. Now, I done did battle with some of them. I done talked with a couple of them. But that ain't his name. I said, well, whatever it is, how are you going to free the people who serve the Lord? And the Lord allowed them to be taxed to death, beat to death, overworked, underpaid. All these things are happening. They're praying to the Lord. Now you're standing here preaching against the system, but you're using the same name that allows the oppression to happen to them. How you going to free them, dear brother? And the man told me, get the hell on waiting here. That's what he said. And I did. I just wanted to make a point. Now we say we know Yahweh. See, I'm just being bold. Everybody preaching ain't got no right to be standing out there preaching. Everybody preaching today don't have no right to be preaching. This thing is done in power. That's what the apostles told the Gentiles. They said that our words were unto you. It was far beyond mere words. It was done in power of the Ruach. That's why I took an entire 4-week process and taught you on power. It is imperative that Israel understand what type of power they have as a nation with Yahweh. This is beyond mere religion. We don't understand that. I was explaining, I said it, and I'll say it again. We think, because we're here in captivity, that we're just going to forever be slaves under these people. That's not true. There are Israelites that are scattered throughout this earth that Yah has given special levels of freedom. If he did not, the scripture would have never said by Yahshua's own mouth, he whom Hamashiach has set free is free indeed. See, I say what I want to say because I'm free. I preach and teach the way y'all says preaching because I'm free. I'm not afraid of these men. I say what I say. People always say, man, you got to be careful. They're going to kill you. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. That's the slave report. I don't like that paper. I read the heavenly report. I read the Torah of Abba Yahweh. It brings freedom. You hear what I'm saying? So we must understand that Yahweh grants that unto Israel. We got to stop looking at the world just thinking, well, to prove we free, we supposed to be rich. We supposed to have houses, land, and cattle, all this and all that. Come on, man. Adam had all that, didn't even know what he had, and went into captivity. Think about it. Think about what I'm saying. He wasn't a slave to no one, but he went into captivity from the moment that he transgressed. Now, he was free. He was made free, born free. Ain't that what it was? Made free, not born. He was made free. We don't understand the value of Yahweh. And we don't understand because as a nation today, we don't even put enough pressure on the priesthood today to say that. Everybody there, they talk tough to the priests till they get the right ones. They get the right one, but they look at them, no, he ain't gonna play that. He gonna let me get away. Yeah, that's right, certainly won't. You're not supposed to. You don't talk like that to your attorney. Attorney go in there and tell you how he gonna do your case, and I'm gonna bid you down and get your plea bargain, or oh, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get that. You don't say nothing to that man. Say, well, I don't agree with that. Won't you do this and won't you do that? You just say, oh, okay. Mechanic say, hey man, you got a low tire pressure back here in this right tire, and it has put a tremendous strain on your transmission, so I gotta put a transmission in there. So, oh wow, okay. So do you ever drive this thing in reverse? Well, from time to time I do back up. Well, I gotta put 2 transmissions in there, because you gotta go forward, you gotta go back. He stand right there and hustle you, and you say, oh, okay, and you pay it. A real man of Yahweh stand up and say something, now all of a sudden you become a biblical scholar. Tell me that ain't how we work. That's how we are. We become scholars instantaneously. I had a man do it to me, run his mouth, blah, 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 blah. I said, well, if the spirit of Yahweh is upon you, you should be able to discern my spirit. You tell me what's going on. Can you discern? The man said, frankly, I cannot. That was the end of that. I felt your spirit, felt you before you even got started talking. And he knows that. And I said that. That's my story. I ain't gonna never change it. Poor fella. We got to learn how to approach one another. We can't even approach Yahweh properly because we don't, as a people, know how to approach each other. Did you all know that? We don't know how to approach each other. Come on. Brother, he stopped coming here. He had the sister up front by the door one day. He gonna look her up and down. I'm gonna be blunt with this. He gonna stop now. Sister got back, he gonna stop at a prostitute. He said, yeah, I've been looking for a good Hebrew Israelite woman, this, that, and that, out there with a pack of Newports and everything. So I was heated. I pulled them up and said, listen here, let me explain something to you. We don't talk to the women of Yahweh like that here, okay? We don't play like that around here. You're interested in a woman, there is a way to approach according to the Torah of Yahweh. I said, don't you ever let me see you do that again, because I'm giving you my word. You came in here fast, but trust me, you'll go out even faster. So he ain't been back since. It doesn't matter to me. You're going to have some respect in y'all's house. You ain't in no damn club. When the brothers get mad, they just get mad. We're going to have respect for one another because we are the family of Yisrael. We won't go through that. We're going to talk to one another the way we ought to. Men address men properly. Women address women properly. Men and women address one another properly. Children address one another properly. Stay in the place that Abba Yah has planted us in. Then as a nation, we grow. We got to be told things like that. So he says, inquire, make search, and ask diligently, and behold, if it be truth, the thing is certain that such abomination is wrought among you, then you shall surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword. That's serious, man. Destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof, with the edge of the sword. Kill everything in the city that went along with it. Now that's serious. Now, of course, to know that the law and the provision is like that, that's serious. You think the people of a various city Israel are going to just go and be bold, blatant like that to die? Though the provision is there, they know, nah, we serve Yahweh. We ain't going through that. So then that law won't apply to you because you're not going to break it. Am I making sense? That's how the Torah works. People go around talking, oh, the Bible is bloody, it's killing, it's this and it's that. No. It ain't no worse than America's laws, which are falsely patterned after the 10 Commandments. That's what this Constitution is, based on the 10 Commandments. Then turn right around and ease it out the court. Tell you don't do this, don't do that. Then get you in there. Do you swear to tell the truth? The whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. They don't like that. They did it to me down court one day. I messed with them like they did me. I had a parking ticket, but then I said, I want to fight this. Well, no, how do you plead? I said, temporary insanity. There's no temporary insanity on a parking ticket. I said, Your Honor, I plead temporary insanity. I have to be insane to come downtown and park, knowing that you all are going to rob me. And stood right there and looked at him. He tried his best to not chuckle because he knew I had it. So, but then pay the court costs and get out. I said, Your Honor, I don't have that either. Dismiss the case and send you on your way. Everything is a hustle. Everything is a con. Everything is about robbing. Everything is about stealing. Yes, I wasn't lying. I said temporary insanity. I had to be insane to go downtown parking, knowing you're going to do what you do. Yes, I was temporarily insane. He says, and you shall surely gather all the spoil of it in the midst of the street thereof, and shall burn with fire the city, and all the spoil thereof, every whit. For Yahweh your Elohim, you shall burn it. For Yahweh your Elohim. And it shall be in heap forever, and it shall not be built again. And there shall cleave naught of the cursed thing to thine hand, that Yahweh may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and show you mercy, and have compassion upon thee, and multiply thee as he hath sworn unto your fathers. And when thou shalt hearken to the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to keep all his commandments. Look at this now. It says to keep all his commandments, which I command thee this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim. See how he's going to turn to you? Once you turn away from that, so that's the first step. Idolatry among Israel is forbidden. Gotta be careful. Don't idolize your cars. Don't idolize your home. Don't idolize son or daughter, husband, wife, brother, sister. Don't idolize nothing. Have nothing before Yahweh but himself. You have a nice home, you have a nice home. You have nice shoes, you have nice shoes. You have a nice car, you have a nice car. You have a nice husband, nice wife, all that. That's Yahweh gave you those things. Be thankful and move on. You pray to him. You praise him. You adore him. You worship him. Am I making sense? People don't understand the severity of it. So that after a while, we put all our energy and all our efforts into this man's system. This is why we come home every day of our lives so tired, so pooped, so worn out. Because this system demands all of our energy. And if it's getting all of our energy, it's getting our worship. Think about it. See, let me give y'all some good advice. When you're on your job every day, you got to be in the mentality of a runaway slave. I hate to use that as an example, but you got to function with the mentality of a runaway slave. You're waiting to get the day over with. Now, that don't mean be slacking or anything like that, but you cannot overexert yourself in that. You have to work. That's your job, your trade, your profession. You have to do that. But don't let that stuff just overwhelm you to a point and a degree where you're depressed, you start having failing health problems and all that, or you just spend all your time working so much so that you can just get more money, more money, more money. Ain't that how they said it? Just so you can buy more stuff to be even less happy than you already are. Think about it. We'll buy more and more stuff. That's why you got to move your stuff to clean up the house. Let them clean up. So you start cleaning up right here. And what ends up happening? You move this stuff right here. Over here. Tell me about it. Ask me how I know. Don't ask me how I know. Anyway, that's what you do. Then you clean this spot up. Looks good. You turn around. What a mess. So then you start moving that stuff. So you clean it up. Put it over here. Looks good. What a mess. Because we covet. We idolize. We want more stuff. More stuff. There are entire industries that cater to our wanting more stuff. More stuff that we don't even need. Stuff that we don't even need. Am I making sense? Yahweh will barak Yisrael with all the wealth and the riches of the world. He will give us all the things that we need. You would have so much so that you would be forced to lend to other people and not borrow. That's what he said in the book. I'm going with that. He said you would have enough. But we're in a predicament now where we have to borrow, and we justify having to borrow. Living and paying a house off for 30 years is not living. It's not living. It's not freedom. A car note that lasts 10 years. You are stuck paying for the car longer than the thing even gonna last. That's not living. But that's how they got us functioning. This society has entire industries that have propped up inside of the last 10, 15, and 20 years that did not even exist, that now provide a service that don't even make no sense. There's an app for everything. Ain't there something? An app. I'm stupid. Well, there's an app for that. Oh, well, let me get it. And then you don't get no wiser. I'm just telling y'all, that's how Shaitan play with everybody and make people worship things that are not of Yahweh. Israel got in trouble because of that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 17. Let's look at this real quick. Y'all all right? 17:2. Listen to this. If there be found among you within any of your gates, which Yahweh your Elohim giveth thee, man or woman that have wrought wickedness in the sight of Yahweh your Elohim, in transgressing his covenant, and have gone and served other mighty ones, and worshipped them, either the sun or the moon, or any of the hosts of heaven, which I have not commanded, and it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently. Notice now, he didn't say go gossip. He said inquire diligently. Go check the thing out. And behold, it is true. And the thing is certain that such abomination is wrought in Israel. Then shalt thou bring forth that man or that woman which have committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shall stone them with stones till they die. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. See how one person could this one? I don't like her. You know what? I'm going to get her. I got something in store. And next thing you know, somebody up lying on somebody saying the sister did this or the brother did that. And now they getting stoned because one person. No. He said 2 or 3 witnesses have to be there. Now, not false witnesses like those that rose up against Yahshua. He said 2 or 3 witnesses. If we keep in the Torah, we must know not to lie. For Yahweh hates a liar. You hear me? This is the safety of the law. We're not looking at the aspect of killing. We're looking at the death penalty behind doing things that transgress Yahweh. He said, because if they do that, then you kill them. This wasn't just a law of kill, kill, kill. I don't know where people get that from other than the fact that they're just ignorant of the truth. This country has laws like that. Treason. Wasn't treason a penalty, death penalty? Did you know that idolatry was counted as a treasonous activity among Israel as a nation? So how can you look at this law today any different than the law of yesterday? Same rules are on the book, just in different aspects. You hear me? Am I making sense? If not, let me know. I'll go and explain deeper. Making sense? Everybody got it? Let's go further. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 shall he that is worthy of death be put to death. But at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witness shall be first upon him, to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people. So thou shalt put evil away from among you. See how Yahweh commanded that it be done? Since the person is making an accusation, they know it's true. Deep within their heart of hearts, they know they're telling the truth. Then here comes the second person. I was there. I saw it. Here comes possibly the third. It's true. Okay, the first one that raised it, they're the first one to throw the stone. That was the defense of Yahweh's law. That wasn't just advocating, going around killing. Those are laws that Yahweh put on the book for Israel, and prayerfully, according to the beauty of the Torah, you would never have to enact that because everybody knew that Yahweh did not practice idolatry. It was unacceptable. He left the king of Israel because of that. Who was the king of Israel that Yahweh withdrew his presence from? Because he stepped into the realms of idolatry. There you have it. Shaul, King Saul. He transgressed, and Yahweh withdrew his presence from the man. He could have had the man killed, but he withdrew his presence from the man. So Israel must understand how the Torah of Yah comes into play. Little laws like this are still in effect to this day with Yahweh, though you are not in your own land to carry them out. Little laws like this stuff still goes. We are not to be enticed by idols. You hear me? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah chapter 2. I want to pull this out. Let's get a good example of what Yahweh said to the children of Israel. A lot of times, our people, they're just so discouraged by the scripture because it's a thick book and it ain't got no pictures in it. We need to just break ourselves from that type of mentality, man. Just thinking, oh, ain't no pictures. That's what we do. Ain't no pictures in it. Put it right there. Shut the book. Jeremiah 2. Let me see. I'm going to start right at the 8th verse. Listen to this. We're going to jump. I'm talking to myself now. This is what the book said they did. The priest said not, where is Yahweh? See how people do things? They don't ask, where's Yahweh in all this? They don't even think about it. The priest said not, where is Yahweh? And they that handle the Torah knew me not. That's your problem. People handling the book, they don't know Yahweh. The pastors also transgressed against me, and the prophets prophesied by Baal. and walked after things that do not profit. This is what you got to tell the people of Israel today. Stop going on them old fancy shopping sprees, them house buying sprees, them car buying sprees. You don't have to have the latest of every gadget in the face of this earth to prove that Yahweh is blessing you. You don't have to have all that, okay? Yahweh can be with you and you look like a poor raggedy snail to somebody, but there will be somebody that know Yahweh is with you and they will stand in jealousy and envy of you. And here you have little or next to nothing. You hear me? When the little man calls himself joking with me and my coworker, you're some ugly guys too. He say, I pick right up on his spirit. You look at our skin tone, our complexions, and different things, and you envy that. So then, yeah, that's exactly why I had a black woman. As close as you get to being in blackness. I don't mean that to be disrespectful. I'm just saying the truth. But that's how people function. Yeah, there's some ugly people. I'm thinking to myself, here you are in your 40s, and you look like you're in your... Now, I could have ripped them to shreds. You wouldn't play the dozens and all that, but that wasn't what I was trying to do. I was just having a conversation, and before we got in the truck and come on back down the road, I just wanted the man to know, you ain't going home with the satisfaction in your mind. Yeah, I had to set them nigga boys straight. No, you ain't going down the road with that. You going down the road with a sick stomach today because you going to know a black man told you some things that you didn't want to hear. So this is the world and the way the world works today. Yisrael does not know the beauty of their relationship with Yahweh because all the nations of the earth see something upon you. They don't know what it is. You all are a beautiful people. And those of you that by way of the live stream that I can't see you, though you all can see me. A lot of times, and I do this every Shabbat, I sit down and I read the comments. I see the things that are said and I try to discern them and to comprehend, because as I go away and I pray, I ask Abba Yahweh to help me to understand who's out there, what's out there, so that I'm better able to shape messages and talk to you and teach you based upon the mere beauty of your written words that come across the page. Because see, we don't realize that words have the power to create. That's why Yahweh kept that authority ascribed exclusively unto himself. He can speak a thing into existence and it be. But then he give us a limited level of that power, because we can say, I'm going to do this. You ever had your parents say, don't make me come in there? You stop what you're doing because you really don't want them to come in there. Let me calm down. Let me stop. So then you learn. So then words, you say, look, if you keep doing this, that, and other, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Now those words come into living being. So we as Israel don't understand it. If we speak the truth in peace, like the scripture says, every man to his neighbor, you produce peace. Is that not what the scripture says? And the fruit of peace is sown in righteousness by them that make peace. You speak it, you live it, it's returned unto you, they live it. You have that perpetually. You know, Israelite run around looking at you, shalom, 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 F you. No. You're not going to have that. Because you know how to love. We don't idolize things that therefore are not to be idolized. Y'all all right? So the priests, they didn't ask with Yahweh. He said, wherefore, yet I will plead with you, says Yahweh, and with your children's children will I plead. He letting them know, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to tell you all, you better do this thing the right way, because judgment is coming. He says, for pass over the isles of Kittim and see, and send unto Kedar, and consider diligently to see if there be such a thing. So what thing? He says, go check the land of Kedar. Go over Kittim. Go look. Now you all tell me this. Watch the question here. Have a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? Have the Japanese given up whatever it is they believe? Have the Russian, they don't even believe in none. Let's go to another country. Yeah, that's a poor example there. Poor example. Forgive me for that one, y'all. Africa, any of the nations there, Asia, China, Indonesia, going up into Europe. Again, poor example, but I'm up there. I'll just look it up. South America, all the different gods of the nations, Dogon, Set, Horus, all the different, I can't even name all of it. But question, they're not Yahweh. But yet those are the things that the nations hold on to, right? But now Yahweh says, I am Yahweh, that is my name. That is my memorial forever. Why did Israel give him up? He's the only true and living Elohim. He's the only creator, but we gave him up. Look at the verse close. He asked, hath a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which doth not profit. We're the only one that gave up what we knew was the truth, for that which is nothing. See what I mean? These are things that were taken from us. This is what I tried to explain to the jackass yesterday. Things were taken from us that were not taken from you. Things that you took from us and then won't even utilize properly yourself, and then talk about us committing crime. Funny how that's all people's argument is with black people. Black crime. Black hookers. That's all. So are those the only two crimes on the planet? A black hooker and a black thief? How is that destroying the world? A black hooker wrote the law? Wait a minute. Let me stop. Then again, I will say it. Wasn't it a black hooker that tried to take the people's little so-called MLK celebration from them? Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I said it. She did it. Yeah, I said it. Y'all want to say all this different stuff going on. I want to talk about street crime. Those are little petty sins that you can condemn overnight and clean your communities up. But won't nobody do it because everybody afraid of them. I made the Baltimore City Police Department change their story 4 times. I stayed on them. I made them change their story. But I just kept right on bringing out the truth. People were so offended and sick of what was being said, was saying stuff, feed me all kind of information. I was checking it out to see what the truth. I was checking, learning the truth, and put it out there publicly. They'd come in, well, it's this, that, and the other over here. No, it's just that and over here. No, it's just that. Come on now. Which story is it? You got 4 stories in 5 days. Which one is it? Sometimes all y'all people got to do is just stand up for the truth. We are so afraid of the truth because, see, the truth ain't fashionable. The truth ain't proper. So most of the time, if it ain't what everybody's doing, people just, well, they say, well, yeah, I knew that. Why you always knew something after the fact? After the fact don't count. Everybody's a prophet after the fact. Think about it. Remember them old days and your grandparents say stuff? Don't go down there on that corner, mess with them people down there, something break out, you have to run back up here to me. Oh, grandma, everything be all right. And then you go down there, something get to happen, you got to come running to the house. And you know them grandparents, they smooth. Ain't that what they do? They knew beforehand. Now with us, we always know after the fact. We need to stop that. Yahweh said, be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be ye very desolate, says Yahweh, for my people have committed 2 evils. Now look at what we did now. For they have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, that's one, and hewed out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Can you imagine that? You got a wooden pitcher or something, you just made it. You gonna go down by the lake and just dip your pitcher and get some cool water and just drink it. But you done carved and shaped this picture and whittled it out, and then you put a big old hole in the bottom, bigger than the one at the top. And every time you dip it in the water and think you're gonna drink something, you looking at the sky. That's pretty much what we've done. That's what Yahweh said we've done. They have committed 2 evils. We have forsaken Yahweh, who is the fountain of living waters, and you go cut out a pitcher that can't hold no water. Swiss cheese cup. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? The young lions roared upon him and yelled, and they have made his land waste. His cities are burned without inhabitant. That's us. The children of Noph and Taphanes have broken the crown of thine head. Hast you not procured this unto yourself, and that you have forsaken Yahweh Elohim when he led you by the way? Come on, did we not do this? We forsake Yahweh, so we brought this on ourselves. Look at the 19th verse. Your own wickedness shall correct you, and your backsliding shall reprove you. Know therefore and see that it is an evil thing and bitter that you have forsaken Yahweh your Elohim, that my fear is not within you. We don't reverence Yahweh today. We don't respect Yahweh like we ought to as a people. We're too busy playing church. That's what we do. We play church. And people know that. Certain words, after a while, you teach it long enough, people learn. Let me tell you all something about coming to Yahweh. After a while, when you hear the messengers lay out certain words and we define why we don't use those words, after a while, certain words just automatically are removed from your vocabulary. After a while, they automatically removed. A woman called me the other day and she says, well, what time do your church services start? And before I could even correct her, she said, I'm sorry. What time does service at the assembly start? Now, I wasn't going to rebuke her because I understand that when people come to this way of life, they have to be reintroduced to Yahweh. They have to be taught so many wonderful things that it's almost hard to get up off of it. But let me tell you the secret to getting up off of any falsehood. The secret to letting go any falsehood in your life, you have to want to let it go. That's the secret. You have to want to let it go. Because if you don't, trust me, you won't. Think about it. Ain't no need. Look. Don't nobody put no alcoholic in Alcoholics Anonymous if he ain't ready to quit. Think about it. You go snatch him up, he drunk as a fish. Where we going? We're going to AA. What we going over there for? Get you some help. Okay. They got Evan Williams over there? That's what he want to know. Or whatever it is he drink, right? Said, no, ain't none of that over there. I'm going to get you sober. Well, what do we want to do something dumb like that for? That's what they say. Right? Come on, man. To get right with Yahweh, we got to want to get right. I don't know about anybody else. I want to be delivered. And in the event people don't realize this, idolatrous nations in the eyes of Yahweh, they share the same fate as rebellious Israel does. Let me make that clear. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 8. See, a lot of times people they don't know how to apply the book. So then you got to teach them. The heathens, they don't know how to apply this book. The Christian world, they do not know how to apply this book. Those men get up there and manipulate and they hustle the people, but they do not know how to apply this book. The same Torah of Abba Yahweh applies to them that applies to us. They have it in their possession. Same words in your book, in my book. Same words in your book, in their book. They have it in their possession, okay? Let's do this. Let's go back. We're talking about things offered to idols. Am I correct? 1 Corinthians 8:1. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. You know what it say? Knowledge puffeth up, but love edifieth. This is what I was trying to get the little white man to see. He got so much knowledge. Nobody else can talk. So I had to speak to him gently, but yet forcefully. So then the man was willing to listen because he looked up and realized, this ain't no nigger boy that's flying off the handle cursing me out. He's talking, but yet he talked to me with authority. And I told him, see, you got a problem. I said, you're the typical white male. You want to impose your ideology on people. And when people will not accept it and or can disprove it, you're not willing to hear them. I said, come on, man. You're not going to do that to me. You do it to somebody else, get away with it, that's fine. I'm just not going to get in that truck and drive down the road with letting you go home with the satisfaction of having imposed the same falsehood upon me that your forefathers did. I said, it's lies. And I'm not going to Baltimore with that on my chest, and you ain't going to Dundalk with it in your mind. And he didn't. I bet it was a rough ride home. I ain't playing with you. I didn't come to play. So he says, and if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing, yet as he ought to know. Now, you know what the book says? The scripture even teaches us sometimes we don't even know how to pray as we ought to pray. I prayed on the air and I got so many phone calls. People saying, where did you get the word to say what you said? So I said, well, brother, I talk every day. What do you mean, where did I get the words? I said what the Spirit commanded me to say. That's why I prayed for the city the way that I did. Because you all should be learning how to pray. We as men should band together and know how to pray. And get a result. Brother wanted to do a march and wanted to do a protest. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm going to tell the truth. I love that brother dearly. You all know I love that brother. I just didn't want to march. They want to protest. They don't want to go nowhere marching, holding no sign. I get tired. I didn't want to do it. So pray and ask Yahweh if it be your will, please block it. Because if I didn't show up, it would look like I wasn't supportive of the brother. So Yahweh let us know. Then I get this message, hey, man, we're canceling because of bad weather. And I was like, yes. I love the brother, but enough of that marching. If we ain't going to march like Israel did in the walls of Jericho, we need to just stay home. All that old marching. Ain't anybody going to be marching. You know, sometimes you can go buy a fairly decent pair of shoes. They'll last you a couple of years. And unless you walk in them longer, they'll last, right? I'm going to go downtown and be walking, marching around, howling at an empty building, wear my shoes out. Come on, I might need them another day. That's a couple millimeters of leather that I could use somewhere else. I don't warm out and down there marching. Next week, my feet are on the ground. No, sick of marching. Pray like we ought to pray. And let's live like we ought to live. So he says, when we think we know nothing that we ought to know. But if any man love Yahweh, the same is known of him. Now, isn't that knowledge? You know Yahweh? You're known of Yahweh. That's your knowledge. You know Yahweh? You're known of Yahweh. That's your knowledge. And you're not into any idolatrous practices. Let's get into this. This is the apostle now. Remember, he's talking to the people of Corinth now. He says, as concerning, therefore, the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols. That's why you got to be careful going to grandma's house this time of the year. Be careful eating that food. That stuff is sacrificed unto devils. Okay? It's sacrificed unto idols. He says, we know that an idol is nothing in the world. And that there is none other than Yahweh, but one. There is none other, Yahweh, but one. In other words, just him alone. For though there be that are called gods, whether in the heavens or in the earth, and there be gods many, and lords many. You see what the book says? There are many gods, there are many lords. But again, Yahweh made the heavens. Get on a first name basis with him. He wants you to do that. He wants his people on a first name basis with him. We have to understand it. Not a title, first name basis. But to us there is but one Elohim, the Father, the Abba, that is, of whom are all things. You see that? Of whom are all things. And we in him, and one Redeemer, Yahshua HaMashiach, by whom are all things. And we by him. How you going to reject him and be telling the truth? This ain't Jesus here. This ain't God. This ain't Buddha. This ain't Allah. This ain't Tao and all the others. It's Yahweh. Howbeit, look at this verse. There is not in every man that knowledge. For some with conscience of the idol, unto this hour, eat it as a thing offered unto an idol. In other words, now you can tell some people, look, these are days that they sacrifice to devils. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. People say, yeah, I know, but then when they say, yeah, I know, but they're justifying what's said here. He's saying, for some with conscience of the idol, meaning they know full well what it is. Unto this hour, eat it as a thing offered unto an idol. And their conscience, being weak, is defiled. You hear what I'm saying? Their conscience is so weak, that's what makes them defiled. They come to the knowledge of it. They say, yeah, I know, but I do it for the kids. Their conscience is defiled. Can Yahweh take a person with a clean conscience? I mean, an unclean conscience like that? Philippians 2:5 says, let this mind be in you, which is also in the Messiah, Yahshua. Did Yahshua trick or treat? No. Just checking. Did he vote? How about he wanted white meat at Thanksgiving? Christmas toys? He give him toys? Did he pass them out? No. See, a lot of times people are afraid to crush the children. Remember one sister in the Israelite, they stopped inviting me. They would do something every year around the Christmas season. She stopped inviting me. She said she did it, and I won't disrespect her with the way I talk about this. I'll just tell the truth. She said, well, I do it every year for the kids. So I said, well, children of Israel don't have kids. Very few of us have kids. We don't have farmland to have kids. Kids are goats. But our children. She said, I do it every year because I don't want them to go back to school without having toys or gifts. I did it. Look at me. Then no, bad example. Don't look at me. I'm messed up. Don't look at me. Well, I survived. I went to school. I went back. We ain't had nothing. You know, my father told us one year, I get to buy you no toys at Christmas. I'll buy you toys in June. You play with them and break them up by August. I was like, why are you so hardcore? You know, you think as a child, you rough. He said, I'll buy you some more. You be done broke them up before Christmas. So what difference? When you get them, you get them. That's how my father was. He buys toys. My father had a sense of humor, boy, that was beyond repair. You just had to understand. He's working on a job, say, work construction like I did. He came home one day on a construction site. They found a bowling ball, a little blue bowling ball, plastic ball. He come in the door. Daddy, hey. He said, hey, how you doing? Here, play with that. Just gave me a ball. I was happy. I'm 5, 6 years old. This little blue bowling ball. Hey, man. I had a ball. You know what happened? My mother and them had these little drinks that they used to get, little plastic sodas, whatever, little come in a little plastic bottle. I took 12 of them. Took them down in the basement. Set them up in a triangle. And we was bowling, me and my sister. True story. Had he not brought the ball, we wouldn't have thought of that. Come on, man. We took my mother's clothesline as little children in the basement. She had extra clothesline. We cut some of the line, hung it up in the rafters in the basement. Brung it down, hung it over, took an old Dr. Seuss book, sat on it. Boom, we had a swing. You made toys. That's what we did. We had skates, ball bearing number 5. You take them apart. Nail one into a 2x4, nail another, then you got a skateboard. If you're really wise and ingenious, you get 2 2x4s and you nail it on in, stand it up, put a handle on it, now you got a scooter. We made toys. Today they make them and stick them in the store. My grandson said, Pop, I want that. And I looked up there, it's $109. I said, boy, I can make that. He froze. Yeah, he just looked at me. We got to teach ourselves how to honor and obey Yahweh. As well as teach your children how to be able to enjoy life. Come on, man. Enjoy life. You don't know. You put your children out there. Back in those days, it was safe. You could put your children out in the backyard. You got them in the yard, play with a stick in the mud. Just happy. Then the neighbor next door, take her little boy, put him over the gate. He down there playing with you. You take the stick, pow, break it in half. Now you both got toys. We did things like that. I come up. I survived it. I looked at my grandson the other day. I have an antique chair. I had a chair that my grandmother's chair. When I was a little boy, about 4 or 5, you know how you get rambunctious in the house? Get to playing too much, make too much. Your grandparents, come here, boy, come here, sit down. Get over there, sit down. Sit in that chair. My grandma make me sit in that chair. So when my grandmother got old and was passing and they cleared the house out, gave stuff, my uncle kept that chair for me. So yeah, I know you would probably want that. He kept that chair for me. So I took the chair and I took it home. And I had it ever since. So the chair has to be well over 50 years old. That I do know. It's got to be well over 50 years. How old exactly, I don't know, but I know I played in it. So I looked at my grandson the other day. He was up in that chair. And he got this thing. He don't want nobody in that chair but him, right? Look, I say, ain't that something? The same spiritual conditions that governed me, not governed him. I had to sit in that chair. I was looking at him in that chair. I shot a picture of him in the chair. Look at that. He's sitting in the chair playing. You can't sit down in the chair with him. He don't like to. He'll push you out the chair. In other words, I want this to myself. So I said, I'll tell you what, don't get the cutting up right here too much. Now, that's where I'm going to put you. I got punished and sat in that chair. You're going to sit in. So we sat in the chair. Let him sit there and enjoy it. He read his little book. Had his little magnifying glass. He looking at stuff. He realized he can, man, he looking. I want you to read. Take that magnifying glass. That was your great-grandfather's. Look at it. See, I keep stuff like that. Because the stuff just means something. So I keep it. Just like I do these Torahs and different things. I keep them, but I got the old man's scriptures and different things. I look at his little notes, his little handwriting on the side of the bus. Look at that. He done wrote a note down there. So we as the people of Yahweh, we don't know how to keep ourselves from idolatrous things because we focus in on the world too much. We got to focus on Yahweh. Yahweh gives you the other right to live and to love and to honor him and to enjoy life. He gave you that. You hear me? He gave you the ability to do that. You teach your children. The children, they get time, even time to play. Just on the Shabbat. Shabbat is not a play day. And so you just teach your children that. Now this is the day you rest. This is a Kodesh day. This is the day Yahweh set apart. And I'm going to show you what the people say in the book about the days. I'm going to show you what he says now. Y'all all right? So he says now, somebody eats this with their conscience being weak is defiled. He says, but meat commendeth us not to Yahweh. For neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. See, some people have made the dietary law of Israel their number one browbeating mechanism. A lot of people have done that. They've taken vegetarianism and veganism, and they've just gone to the farthest extreme. And a lot of times I observe the things that the scripture says about it, and I observe the people who eat that way, and I say, yeah, that's interesting that the book says that. But it's interesting that you do that and you're not cognizant of what the book says about it. Let's get on into that. Y'all all right? Come on. He says, but take heed lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak. Don't think now because you eat a specific way you have the right to condemn and browbeat and just beat somebody down. Oh, you don't eat no meat? I'm better than you. Oh, you eat meat? Oh, you just that. What did he say in the dietary law we could and could not eat? We get to stand around fighting over no food. It's written. He commands what you can and cannot. He said, these are your clean beasts. These are your unclean. These are the things that you should do. He told you all your seed-bearing fruits and vegetables. All the things. He laid all that out. So people today, they argue over stuff because they cannot obtain to Yahweh. So then they pick the smallest thing and they ascribe righteousness of that unto themselves. Says, but lest we take by means this liberty of yours and it become a stumbling block to them that are weak. For if any man see thee, which have knowledge, sit at meat in the idol's temple, shall not the conscience of him that is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols? Can you imagine that? Let's give you a good example of that. If you go to church on the so-called pagan New Year's Eve, but you're trying to convert brothers and sisters about the Shabbat, the Torah, the commandments of Yahweh, this way of life, but yet they see you go out and you celebrating it on New Year's Eve, won't that embolden them in the paganism that you're trying to convert them from, in the falsehood? It will embolden them. Are you listening to this? This is what the apostle was letting them know. For if any man see that which has knowledge, sit at meat in the idol's temple, shall not the conscience of him that is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols? And through your knowledge shall your weak brother perish, for whom the Messiah died? So now he's putting it back on you. Because you got so much knowledge, why should your brother that is weak die? Because you think you're so right. You could rebuke him, chastise him, you could do this way, do that way, and then you didn't even help him. So now he's emboldened in his falsehood. So that even if he come out of the falsehood and he comes to the marvelous light, now he has come dragging the baggage of falsehood with him. We can't come out of the darkness and into the light and drag the darkness with us. We have to come all the way out. Am I making sense to you right now? This is what you got to tell the people. That's why I tell people all the time. People come in. This is sad, but I'm going to say it. People come in all the time, and you can kind of like discern people's spirit. You know, they ain't going to be long. They ain't going to be here long. They can't take this, or they ain't into that. They're not for real, or they're not sincere with this, that, or that. Sometimes you can just tell. You know it. You know it. But people come in, and they're always in a hurry. They want to learn everything in a moment. They want to get it all in a moment. And I always jam people like that up. And I ask them, well, when they put you in kindergarten, how long did it take you to put that square block in that square hole? Did you put that star in the circle hole? And did you put that circle in the round hole? I mean, in the square hole? Did you do it overnight? Did you learn? No. Some of us had to sit there and fight. Some of us just get passed on to the first grade. Never got it right. I'm just being honest. They push you on through now. Hey, man, I was in school. I had a brother in school. He must have been 6'4" in the second, third grade. He's a big dude, man. He just kept failing. I just know he he's taller than my father. You second, third grade. What grade you in, Andre? I couldn't hear you. What grade? Third. How old are you? 8. He didn't think about heat line. He been on Earth a long time. 365 times 8. Yeah, that's a lot of days. Anyway, so in the third grade, you're about 8 years of age. I was in third grade with a brother, and the brother was about 6'4". He was a big dude, man. I'm telling you, he was tall. So then years later, we get him to learn he wasn't much older than us. He just had some kind of growth spot. He was tall. And we were afraid of him. So quite naturally, he bullied everybody. He did it. He just bullied everybody. He always did. That was just him. That was his thing. He bullied people. This is a big man. So Yahweh's people today, we're bullied by the nations. The nations today, they impose their culture on us. They teach us. They have us following them in ways that are beyond our ability to even comprehend it. Because we're not paying attention to the beauty of Yahweh's word, okay? That's where we get in error. Y'all all right? So it says, and through your knowledge shall our weak brother perish, for whom the Messiah died. But when you sin so against the brethren and wound their weak conscience, you sin against Hamashiach. You see that? For which cause, if meat make my brother to offend, I will eat no flesh while the world standeth, lest I make my brother to offend. All he meant, I won't eat that in front of you. If that's what you got a gripe about, or you having a dispute with that, I won't eat that in front of you right now while the world stands. I won't do that. That was not hypocrisy. Now, I want you to understand the difference between this, because the Apostle Shaul talks about how he withstood Peter to the face. He confronted him on that, on the construct of when Israel was around and they were gathered, Peter would separate from the Gentiles and come on over just for Israel, and he wouldn't deal with them. He wouldn't have it. But when Israel wasn't around and they were preaching and teaching Gentiles, Peter was at ease with him. He was open. So the Apostle Shaul got on him about his hypocrisy. That's what he meant when he said, I withstood him to the face. He did confront him like a man. So that's what he meant by that. And in this same construct here, now here's what he meant when we have this type of food and you have this. Some people come, mother was here before, she didn't like certain food. Oh, I don't eat this, I don't eat that. No. When you enter the house of Yahweh and the house of the assemblies of Yahweh, we all have the same dietary law. We teach that, you don't eat that pork, them shrimps, seafood, and all of that stuff. You have a very clean dietary law. Which means that in the house of Yahweh, or in the house of your brethren in Abba Yahweh, if they set something before you that you are capable of eating, you can eat without having to question their food. You hear what I'm saying? You're at home. That's why the scripture says it in that manner. Eat what's set before you, asking no questions for consent. I shouldn't have to. Brother Jonathan, ain't no pork in this, is it? I shouldn't even say. You'd be gravely offended, wouldn't you? If I were to say something like, you'd be gravely offended because I should know that you know better. See, people a lot of times, that's how people get carried away with these things. And this is why little conversations like this had to come up, because they were trying to introduce the Gentiles to this way of life. So they were teaching them, listen, this is how you avoid controversy in this manner, or in that manner, or in this manner. You should be able to trust one another's dietary habits now. We should all have the same cleanliness, the same diet aspect. We should have all that down pat, so that, because this is what y'all commands that Israel do, okay? We should have that. Let's go to the book of Colossians. Let me see if I can find this here. Go to the Colossians chapter 3. I want to show you something. Beginning right around that 5th verse. He says here, mortify therefore your members, which are upon the earth. Get control of yourself. Fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. You see that? The different things like that, he counts it as idolatry. People today, these are the things that they into, for which sake the wrath of Yahweh cometh on the children of disobedience. In other words, when we learn to do better, we can't keep doing it, because this is why Yahweh bring wrath upon us, because of our disobedience. In which you also walk sometime when you lived in them. So he's letting them know you used to live like this. So don't act like you didn't. But now you know better. When you know better, you do better. Is that not the rule? That's why he's talking to them this way. He says, in the which you also walked sometime when you lived in them. But now you also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Lie not to one another, seeing that you have put off the old man with his deeds. Put the devil down. His deeds, put it down. And have put on the new man. Pick up Yahshua. Right? Pick up Yahshua, the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. Where there is no Gentile, nor Yehudim, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free, but Hamashiach is all and in all. This is only when we come to him. People grab these verses at the most inappropriate time, and then they try to use that. When we were telling the people before in the services about the women preachers, how y'all did not call the women to preach, these were the types of scriptures that the sisters would run and get. He says, neither Jew nor Gentile, neither male nor female, this, that, and that. Hey! That's not applicable in the context of what he was saying. Don't try that now. Now the devil pulling that stunt on you, now you don't like it. He give you unisex bath for now all of a sudden you don't like it. Well, no. It's neither male nor female, Jew nor Gentile. Go on in there. Things are so bad and so confused now. He used to be a boy. Now he's a girl. Now he's confused. And he got you confused. Because now you don't know what he is. So now he want to wipe words out of the vocabulary. Don't have gender. Don't say pervert. Don't say homosexual. Certain words now they want to make the words illegal. This is crazy. You can see this is the devil's world. I don't care what they say. This is the devil's world. They say don't say stuff. How you supposed to address it? Be politically correct. Now I pulled that stuff on some people. They just shut down on me and said, wait a minute. Political means the power to rule. Correct means to be right. Okay, so then if I say the proper word that is designed to rule over you, let you know get in your place, then I am correct politically. Right? All right. Then it's a pervert. It is what it is. I don't call it nothing different. See, a lot of times we don't look at the words, man. We don't understand these words we use. People, oh, you're just homophobic. I said, sister, don't say that to me. Well, it is what it is. I say it ain't what it ain't. What you mean? I said, well, homo is supposed to mean man. Am I correct? Yes, you are correct. I said, and phobia is supposed to mean fear. Am I correct? Yeah, you're correct. I said, okay, I am a man. I'm acting in the capacity of what Yahweh commanded that I do. Be a man. I have no fear of being a man. But now here's a man that wants to be a woman because there's a fear of being a man. He's homophobic and I am not. You know what the sister did? I take it that means I was right. See, we use words and we don't understand the meaning of things. So they just throw stuff out at us. We catch feelings and catch attitudes and get mad. But there are times in life, and I'm going to show you a couple of scriptures here. You see, idolatry came upon the children of Israel in a threatening format. It just failed. They forget to realize in the book of the Acts, in fact, let's go there now. In the book of the Acts chapter 4, idolatry was being forced upon Israel. It just failed at that time. Watch what the apostles were going through. Now, can you imagine me preaching? Somebody come here and they determine they're going to make me say what they want me to say. Watch this. This is the imposition of idolatry. And they could not pull it off, even though they tried. They wanted the apostles to preach and teach something else, but they did not have the power to overcome them. As they spake unto the people, the priests and the captains of the temple and the Sadducees came upon them, being grieved that they taught the people. Why? What are you so mad with them about? What is it you don't want the people to know? So they taught the people and preached through Joshua the resurrection from the dead. And they laid hands on them and put them in hold until the next day, for it was now eventide. Howbeit, many of them which heard the word believed. And the number of men was about 5,000. Can you imagine that? They addressed about 5,000 people and got locked up for preaching the truth. Where are the Israelite men today that's getting locked up for preaching the truth? They ain't preaching nothing. They make listen, let's be clear. Come on now. Y'all ready for this? A lot of these little soft messages that a lot of the brothers are saying, the government ain't even putting their ear to it. Because we ain't saying nothing. I'm just being honest. The government ain't sitting around listening. That's why I tell a lot of people a lot of time, calm down, man. Brother told me, Illuminati, man, they're trying to get me. So I say, brother, listen, man. Ain't nobody trying to get you. You go ahead and pray. And you shake that off, okay? I got started somewhere around October of 1988. And I have lectured and taught in some colleges, some churches, some universities. I done traveled this country a little bit, brother. I done talked about practically some of everything. We were talking about the Illuminati in the 80s and the 90s when it wasn't even fashionable to talk about. Nobody knew what we were talking about. We were so far ahead of our time, brother. They ain't came at me yet. Now you just listening to YouTubes and a couple DVDs. Now they want to get you. What are you doing that they want to get you that I ain't doing and they haven't bothered me? And that brother got offended because I said that, but it's just the truth. You can't sit around and watch a bunch of dumb, stupid DVDs and then just naturally think they out to get you. Let that paranoia subside. Satan is out to get you. He don't want you to keep the command. It's mighty funny how you can't get people to cross that door to sit down with you, but they want to call on the phone and yip and yap about conspiracy theory. I ain't got that kind of time. The conspiracy theory starts with Israel because Yahweh said that there's a conspiracy among her prophets. They didn't want to teach the truth. That's the conspiracy that worries me. When people say, well, don't bring that up. Why? Somebody needs to know. I know Illuminati trying to get somebody. Come on. We need to focus in on y'all's word. These men went to jail for the truth, okay? And it came to pass on the morrow that the rulers and the elders and the scribes and Annas the high priest and Caiaphas and Johanan and Alexander and as many as were of the kindred of the high priest were gathered together at Jerusalem. And when they had set them in the midst, they asked, by what power or by what name have you done this? Can you imagine that? You preaching in Yahshua's name and you get the community's attention and somebody run up on you and want to know, what authority do you do this in? Come on, man. Ain't nobody bothering little Israelites today like we think they are. We ain't preaching what we should be preaching because then it'll really get their attention, okay? You really want to get there? No, I ain't going to tell you how. Anyway. Then Kepha or Peter, filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, said unto them, you rulers of pardon me, you rulers of the people and elders of Israel, if we this day be examined of the good deed done to the impotent man, by what means he is made whole, be it known unto you all and to all the people of Israel, that by the name of Yahshua HaMashiach of Nazareth, whom ye crucified, whom Yahweh raised from the dead, even by him doth this man stand here before you whole. This is the stone which was set at naught of you builders, which is become the head of the corner. Now the Masons say that they're dealing with the chief cornerstone. That's what they preach in their doctrine and their religion. But here the Apostle Shaul says, Yahshua is the stone that you builders have rejected. They're building their new world order. On the back of their dirty damn dollar is the all-seeing eye over top the pyramid that has yet to complete the cause. But you reject Yahshua for that evil all-seeing eye. But now Peter tells them, this is the power here. This is the stone that you have rejected. Neither is there salvation in any other. Why would we worship something else if there's no salvation in any other? Look at the verse close. Neither is there salvation in any other. The man's name meant salvation. Yahweh is salvation. He sent Yahshua. Psalms 91 says, with long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Yahweh's salvation, it walks, it talks, it breathes, and it's going to fight. It's going to set up a kingdom on this earth. Because there was nothing made that was not made by the salvation of Abba Yahweh. Why would we fall into idolatrous practices by seeking another? The man says, neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name. Stop. None other name. There is no other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. That's the pass. That's the cue card. That's the secret. That's the entry point. The name of Yahweh Shua. He sent his son, Yahshua HaMashiach. You got the Israelites now out here arguing, Yahushua, Yahawashi, all this stuff. As soon as you ask them, please document it for me. I just want to see your evidence. They want to send me to an internet source where all the man got to do is pull the switch, and now can't none of us see it. We don't even think. Where the two sisters at? They come out with the prophecy a couple months ago. Oh, the world going to be hit by EMP. Oh, it's this, that, and other. I'm telling y'all. Oh, spoke all the prophecy. I said, now, when the thing don't come to pass, they going to disappear. Lo and behold, poof. Ain't seen or heard. I wish I had saved it. Then I go right back on their page. Hey, you think that EMP coming next week? See, it's a funny thing with us, the people. We let false prophets and prophetess, we let them off the hook all the time. They lie, they make up stuff, they prophesy different things. Jesus coming next week, he's going to have pumpkin pie and chicken salad sandwiches. And somebody going to sit up and wait. And when they don't get pumpkin pie and chicken salad sandwich, they a little disappointed. Oh, well, maybe it's next week. Tell me that ain't what we do. That's what we do. Jehovah's Witness said he was coming in 1914. Didn't happen. They pushed it back 8 years. Didn't happen. They went back and reorganized the paperwork at the temple, what have you. Said he was going to do something else. Didn't happen. Then they changed the title of the magazine to some other stuff. Look, y'all can't keep on shifting names and titles just to save face. Just say, hey, we don't know what the hell we talking about. We just saying something. You'd be better off saying that. But again, we let them off the hook until the messenger of Yahweh stand up and tell us the truth. Suddenly we become these intellectuals and we want to debate them and challenge them. Well, you said this, that, and the other. Is that what the book means? Or is that what no, here's what it means. Get out my face. People don't like that. I don't waste time with these nutty people, man. Sometimes people are nutty as a Christmas fruitcake. Well, then again, that's fruit. But fruity as a fruitcake. They'll make my difference. Sometimes people just not in their right mind. Let me tell you all real quick about that. More often than not, we're not in our right mind because we won't seek Abba Yahweh. Do you realize that mental illness cannot hold on us? It is a spiritual condition. Mental illness cannot have a stronghold on that body if we turn to Abba Yahweh. He will put a right mind within us. You hear me? He'll give us a right mind. Pray for one another to that effect. You don't want your sons and daughters, you don't want your sons to get hooked up with some old crazy woman. You want her to have a right mind. You don't want your daughter to get hooked up with some old nutty man. You want him to have a right mind. We don't pray like that, but we should. Pray like that. That way you don't have so many failed relationships and so many messed up children out here in the world. This is how children just come up all messed up and nutty because daddy not there. They want him at a moment when they need him. They don't know how to say it or express it. So then they act out. They need him and he ain't there. Or they need mama, but mama in the club and they don't know how to say it. So then they act out. And after a while that acting out gets them certain things. And they realize, well, when I do this, then I get your attention. Or when I do that, then you move and give me this. So then that's the only thing they know. Come on, man. All this stuff is because of idolatry. Why? Because mama out in the club looking for a new man. She idolized men. So then she got to run through 10 or 20 thinking that she's going to eventually get the right one. Daddy drop a baby here, there, and there, and there. Because he idolized women. Thinking if he run through enough of them, eventually he get the right one. Then we look back, we got a trail of babies behind us. And they ain't married to nobody. We in our communities, some of this, we brought it down. Because of idolatry. And when we come to the knowledge of it, you, me, I, him, her, us, them, when we come to the knowledge of it as a nation, we have to collectively fall on our knees and beg forgiveness for that. It's far deeper than just an individual thing. It is a national thing. That's why Israel is in the trouble that it is in. Our sins are nationwide. And don't nobody want to get caught saying it because it hurts people. It hurt me too. I'm guilty of any sins and transgressions like all men. We all have our faults, our failures, and our shortcomings. But when we come to the knowledge of these things and Yahweh commands that we do better, we are blessed in ways that we have yet to understand. If Yah command you to come unto him, you're his from the foundation of the world. You may not have known it, but he knew. I'm going to wake you up at this particular time. I'm going to touch that one at this time. I don't like his daddy. I'm not going to let his daddy come into my kingdom. But I'm going to save his son. And his son going to have a son. Or his son going to have a daughter. And they're going to do this. I'm going to bless them for 3-4 generations. Yahweh works like that. And I'll say it again. Any of us, if he called us, regardless of the color of our skin, if he called you, and you come to the knowledge of it, it's because you were his. You were his. You tell me that ain't a blessing? You could be like those in the world that have such a wicked mind, they know nothing. I talked to that man the other day. I know when I see him Monday, Tuesday, he ain't gonna like me one bit. I don't care. I just could not take that man's spirit. You ain't gonna walk up on me as Israelite and psychologically rape me, and I'm walking around, hold my tongue. We ain't in that era of time. I ain't stepping fetch it. I don't play like that. Y'all was people have to stand and know the truth. And that's how truth be told, you're gonna save some of them because they're gonna have to come unto you. Funny how don't nobody want to talk about that part of the book. Nobody never want to find that part of the book where he says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the people of Israel shall possess them, it says, in the land of Yahweh, for servants and for handmaid. Oh, look out, Mr. Charlie. Oh, look out, Mr. Rich Man. Oh, look out, Miss Sally. Y'all are on high right now. Got everything going your way. But your idolatrous ways are going to be brought low. Somebody got to say that to the world. Y'all all right? We don't pay attention to Yahweh like we should as a people. We don't believe him. So this imposition, let's go a little further because they were trying to impose their idolatrous works on the apostles. So he says in verse 13, now when they saw the boldness of Kepha and Yohanan and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men. I despise that one little sentence right there in that verse because I be looking in them old Torahs for that, and I be looking and I say, now, that was not what they were. How you going to be with salvation? Walking, talking with you. He teaching them. He rebuked them because they didn't even have enough faith. He said, how long shall I be with you, O faithless generation? He taught those men. He said, you shall be endued with power from on high. How were they going to be unlearned and ignorant? Come on. You don't find ignorance until you look at Hosea 4 and 6 very carefully. You find Israel's willful ignorance. Yahweh said, because you have rejected knowledge. That's ignorance. When you know something and you reject it, you choose to ignore a thing. These men were preaching the truth. How then were they ignorant? These men had the truth. How then were they unlearned? They talking to 5,000, and you get jealous because they reached 5,000. How many did you want to reach and were not able to? Huh? We're not paying attention. So it says, when they saw that they were ignorant, unlearned men, they marveled that they took knowledge of them, that they had been with Yahshua. How are you going to be ignorant and unlearned with him? He's not even with you today, but yet if he's with you, you are no longer ignorant. You are no longer unlearned, for he is the word. You hear me, Israel? And beholding the man which was healed standing with them, they could say nothing against it. But when they had commanded them to go aside out of the council, they conferred among themselves, saying, what shall we do to these men? For that indeed a notable miracle hath been done by them, is manifest to all them that dwell in Jerusalem. We cannot deny it. But that it spread no further among the people, let us straitly threaten them, that they speak henceforth to no man in this name. Now you tell me that ain't a conspiracy to enter idolatrous practices among Israel? Telling people don't speak and preaching that name. That's what they did to me. WOLB tried that. They tried everything they could over the process of time. Don't say this. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. This, that, and other, blah, blah, blah. One polo sister out there, we don't like each other to this day. We speak, we cordial, but you can feel the tension. She don't like me, and I really don't like her. I don't care. I don't like your ways. I said something on the air, and I used the word in the context because I wanted to remind the community this is how they think of you. She come running there holding up a sign, put it up against the glass, plexiglass, tell me, don't say that word. I went off right there in the studio, right while I was on the air teaching. The rest of the broadcast I did, it was the discussion on her. Running in telling me what to say. I'm across the hall, 95.9 on this side, 92Q on that side. Every song they play, every other word is profanity. Your mother's this, your father's that. I shoot you over here. I do this over there. I do boo, 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 boo. Every other word is profanity. And you're going to tell me what I am and I'm not going to say? I'll tear the whole damn studio down before I let you tell me what I will and won't say in Yahshua's name. So they don't bother me. And I told the general manager, I said, look, talk radio is like them yellow lines in the middle of the street. Everybody know the rule. Keep your tires on the proper side of the lines and don't cross it. You can come dangerously close, but just don't cross it. And every now and then I cross the line. Just testing the waters. Let them know I ain't afraid of them. You got to break some rules sometimes in order to get rules enforced. They say you ain't going to make an omelet without breaking some eggs. Well, hey, I go there and fry the city up if that's what y'all command that you do. You need more men and women to stand up if truth be told. So that the word and that the truth of the notable blessing spread no further, they threatened the men, told them, don't preach that. Isn't that something? You threatened them. See, I'm the reverse. I'm sorry. I'm a little nutty. I come up in the inner city. You don't run up on us any kind of way and make us do what you say do. It's going to be a fight. Okay, if I can fight like that out there as a hoodlum for falsehood, you know I'm going to put up a fight for y'all, sure. No, you ain't going to make me say nothing you once said. I'm going to say what y'all commands that I say. Y'all we had a thing out there. See, let me tell y'all what they did to me. Our beloved sister, she's dead now. But I had a half hour, and I had to talk like thunder and lightning to get the points across. I was coming on in the evening in what they call the basement time slots. I had drive time, 5:30. People in the cars, they could hear me, captive audience or what have you. But I had a half hour. So one day my sales rep was just leaving the studio at the time when I come on. She said, have a good broadcast. She left. But on her way home, she turned on to the broadcast. And man, I was spitting fire and thunderbolts and everything else. So I opened the lines that day just to talk to the people. I talked 15 minutes, opened the line, talked to people. She called in. She said, man, what you saying got to be heard further than that. You got to extend your time or something. Meet me in the office tomorrow. We'll talk in the morning. So I went out there. And for the time frame that I was paying the money for that little half hour, it was a lot of money. She extended the contract, and I didn't understand what she was saying. But basically, she was saying, I'll extend it. And the only thing I'm going to charge you is the same price. Do you want to buy the half hour? So I wasn't understanding what she was saying. I was thinking, I'm not going to pay for that half hour, for another half hour, and double it. That wasn't what she was saying. It was just the way she worded it. It sounded real tricky. But she was just letting me know, only thing I want you to do is pay the same price that you're paying for the new half hour. Are you willing to do that? I was like, I ain't got that kind of money. She said, you obviously not catching what I'm saying. And she was doing it. I love the way she did what she did, because she did it in humor. It's just to pick with me. She was letting me know what you're saying needs to be heard. I ain't worrying about making no money. Pay your same rate, and I'm going to add the half hour onto it because you need the half hour. And my mouth hit the floor. It's like, wow. Really? You did this for me? You know what she said? She didn't use Yahweh, but she said, I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it because God's word got to go forward. I'm doing it for him. But before she died, she would say, may Yahweh bless you. That's what she was saying. So she extended it like that. And I had the cheapest rate out of every major talk show in the city. And you know what them dirty dogs have done over the years now? They had to reduce their prices and their rates and everything for everyone else. So now everybody else got a rate that's almost cheap as mine. I'm like, yeah, you all don't even know you were blessed because Yahweh had us there. So they brung theirs down. But I present the truth of Yahweh's word as best I can ever be, and I don't fear them because, see, what we have to understand is that the truth of Yahweh's word, it is controversial. Controversy gets people's attention because it shakes things up. Lies don't shake things up. Lies tend to smooth it over because it comforts everybody. But the truth has to shake it up. And like Malcolm X once said, whatever's at the bottom, if you start stirring it, it's going to come to the top. So that's what I do. I stir up the city with the truth of Yahweh's word. I show the people the things that are in the book as best I can. And I'm more than certain that there are men out here in the world, someone that could do a far greater job than I do. I just know that I do the best that I can. And I tell the people that because you don't need no soft-spoken men sitting around now just saying, yes, welcome aboard. Praise him. This is what we're going to do today. I'm going to talk to you about the word. No. People ain't going to listen to you. You get people's attention, man. Somebody yelling and hollering a little bit, and they look like they just going off. Hey, I ain't going to hurt a fly. Then again, I won't say that. I don't like a fly, but you get the point. But we have to teach Yahweh's people to stand and stand for the truth of his word, because if we don't stand for the truth, like in 1 Samuel 15, you can read this later. They went in to take the land, and Samuel listened to the people. He feared the people. So all the stuff that Yahweh said, burn it, destroy it, gather it up, he kept it. The worst of the stuff, they burned it and destroyed that, but they kept the good stuff. He listened to them. So when the man of Yahweh came along, he rebuked him and said, what is that noise I hear? Why are the sheep bleating in the back? I hear that. Didn't Yahweh tell you he said save none of it? Because it was idolaters. Look, if they sacrificed it to their gods and Yahweh sent you in to capture the land, he didn't even want it. He didn't care how valuable it was. He made it. He didn't even want it. He said destroy it all. But King Shaul, he kept it. And Yahweh said, not so, my friend. And Shemael says unto him that because you have rejected Yahweh, Yahweh has now rejected you from being king over Israel. And he, in fact, can I get that? Let me grab that verse before we dismiss. He told him, he said something to him that we as a people must understand. Don't get caught being stubborn. Don't get caught being rebellious and having idolatrous ways. You don't want to live like that, okay? Go to 1 Samuel 15. He says something to Samuel that we as Israel must listen to. We have to really pay attention. 1 Samuel 15. Let me start right around the 13th verse. I'll run through this as quick as I can. And Shemael came to Shaul, and Shaul said unto him, Blessed be thou, O Yahweh, I have performed the commandment of Yahweh. And Shemael said, What meaneth then the bleating of the sheep in mine ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? See, he heard all that noise. He heard it. Didn't see it, he just heard it. He said, well, if that's the case, what's that I hear? And Shaul said, they had brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and the oxen to sacrifice unto Yahweh your Elohim, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. That wasn't the command. Then Shemael said unto Shaul, Stay, and I will tell you what Yahweh have said to me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. And Shemael said, When thou wast little in thine own sight, wast thou not made head of the tribes of Israel? And Yahweh anointed thee king over Israel? And Yahweh sent thee on a journey, and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of Yahweh, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of Yahweh? And Shaul said unto Shemael, Yeah, I have obeyed the voice of Yahweh, and have gone the way of Yahweh sent me, and have brought back Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took the spoil. See, there's man again. Man is shifting the blame. But the people took the spoil. Now you're the king. You were the final say-so. See, but the people took the spoil, sheep and the oxen, and the chief of things, which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto Yahweh our Elohim in Gilgal. And Shemael said, Have Yahweh as great a delight in burnt offering and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahweh? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. You hear that? I say that even to the children. When your parents tell you something, don't disobey them. Obey them. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he hath rejected thee from being king. You see that? A man with no backbone. He rejected it. That's why it is imperative. A man has to come to understand people don't have to like your judgment. If it is a judgment of Yahweh and it is right judgment, that is all that matters. We have to learn to live like that as men. You hear what I'm saying? You have to govern and guide your houses like that. I told her, y'all, for my Isha. People can dislike her. They can say what they want about her. She stands by the decisions that I make. I don't care what people say. She stands by the decisions I make. Ain't no second guessing the decisions. Well, we're going to do this. And we're going to do it that way. We're going to do this. And I don't guide and govern my house in no arrogant, dogmatic way. I pray about everything. I want Yahweh to lead me and to guide me. I want to treat that woman right. I want to treat my children right. I want to treat my grandchildren right. I want to treat my family right. So I guide the house as best I can according to the rules of Abba Yahweh. So, well, I ain't want to do it that way. I did this because this is that and that's that and other. No. We got to go according to the rules of Yahweh. Because if we fail Yahweh, he will certainly move us out of the way. Are you listening there? He'll move us. That's why we need some spine and we need some backbone. Yahweh didn't make a jellyfish to be the ruler. He made men. And people get offended when we say things like that. But because he let the people idolize things, Yah still references the people as his children. Last scripture here. Let me grab this. 1 John chapter 5. Yahweh wants Israel, even in the midst of all of Israel's sins, he still addresses us as his dear children. And he gives us the same instructions that we are supposed to abide by. But we try our best not to. And that's not what Yah command. 1 John 5:18. Listen to this. We know that whosoever is born of Yahweh sinneth not. But he that is begotten of Yahweh keepeth himself, and that wicked one toucheth him not. You see that? Devil can't touch you if you keep yourself. If you stay pure in Yah, Satan cannot touch you. I don't know why a lot of times we just so obsessed with Satan and his power, what he can and cannot do, what he does in the world. This, that, now. If we keep ourselves in Yahweh, he has no power over us. Come on. You'll be able to rebuke him as Yahshua did. Get thee hence, Satan. And he has to flee. And you know that we are of Yahweh. And the whole world lieth in wickedness. Isn't that something? Is not adultery wickedness? Fornication, is it not wickedness? He said the whole world lies in wickedness, huh? And we know that the Son of Yahweh is come and hath given us an understanding that we may know him. That is true. Most people don't know him. They don't have an understanding of him. And we are in him, that is true. Even in his Son, Yahshua HaMashiach. This is the true Elohim and eternal life. Little children, keep yourselves from idols. So be it. You hear what he said? Keep yourselves from idols. Anything that you start to love and to honor and to favor above Yahweh, it's an idol. Keep yourselves from that. You don't need that little stuff. Coming up as a little child, I used to wonder why they had the little action figures, the DC Comics, Batman, Superman, and all that stuff. So my maternal grandmother, she bought a couple of them for me. I had them about good 24 hours. My father found them things. Oh, no. Broke the arms off of them, broke the legs off of them, popped the head off of them, threw them in the trash. And I was like, ain't nothing but toys. Well, you got to break up my toys. My father said, you don't play with little things like that. No idols like that are secretly worshipped in your heart and mind. You won't even know. You think you're just playing and having fun. You worship those things. I'm older now. I understand what he meant. White world supremacy. This image that has everybody wanting to be like white America. You'll worship that stuff so that your children will want to be that. We played cops and robbers. We were children. Hawaii 5-0. We want to be Dano and Steve McGarrett. We ain't even have hair flipped to the side. We out playing like that. Not understanding. You idolize those dumb things. TV shows today got our children wanting to rap and dance and sing. And they tell you you can be one too. And they call it American Idol. You can vote. This your favorite star. This your up and coming singer. You can vote for them. And you praying that they win. You calling in many times you can, hoping that they win because you idolize them. He said, keep yourselves from idols. Don't pay them people no mind. They call themselves stars. Beyonce, Jay-Z, Cesar. Just check and see if young people know what I just said. I want to see the reaction. They don't know. That's good. That's what we want to do. Want to be like them. But the scripture says, they that turn many to righteousness shall be as the stars of heaven. You are the stars. You're the one that's going to replace the fallen angels. You better know that. You are Yahweh's stars. Come on, Yisrael. We don't have to idolize nothing. We worship Abba Yahweh. We adore him. Let him be your adulation. Let him be the height of your adoration. Because he has all power to save and to destroy. So we have to introduce ourselves to Abba Yahweh and allow him to reintroduce himself unto us. And if we are the precious children of Abba Yahweh, we're going to do all that Yahweh commands. We don't want to do what the world says do. We had enough of the world. How many of you have had enough of the world by show of hands? You had enough of it? There you go. We had enough of it. We ain't ready to go out of it where we need to go kill ourselves like Heaven's Gate. Come on, y'all, let's drink this purple Kool-Aid. We out here tonight. No, we're not talking about that. We are sick of the ways of this world, and we are determined that we're going to walk with Yahshua. That's all we got to do. Just walk with him. People, they label, oh, it's a cult. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Nah, we'll take your definition of a cult, and we'll watch everything you do and see if you don't fit the definition of it. And then prove to you that you're so stupid you won't even know it. That's what the devil make him do. He make him speak against things of Israel. Israel, you stay strong in Abba Yahweh. You continue to keep his commandments. For those of you that are home, by way of the live stream that have tuned in as faithfully as we can, I cannot apologize. We did not come out on last eve. The snow and the temperatures hit in the evening, and it would do nothing but drop in a little freezing rain. Rather than jeopardize ourselves and come out over the night, we simply chose to stand down. Yahweh willing, we'll resume our Shabbat services here again next Friday evening at the incoming of the Shabbat at roughly 7:30. It should be no problem. We'll rotate. We'll go right back into the general order. Who was supposed to teach last night? Who was teaching? Mister, well, next week we'll pick up on that and just you all continue your regular schedule. Is that all right? You do it that way. That way you don't miss out. Whatever you're going to deliver, just deliver it the next week. We'll go on with that. Y'all willing, I will see you all next Shabbat. And the rest of you that are here, I'll see you all in the dining facility in about 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to relax. We're going to break bread together, celebrate our Shabbat. And we're going to enjoy this rest that Abba Yah has granted unto us. You remember to keep your brethren both far and near in your prayers. There are many that are around the world. If you think that you are sincere as you pray, pray for others wherever they are that are just as sincere as yourself. That in that great day of the family reunion when Yah gathers us all together, that we're there able to see one another and to see the blessed face of Abba Yahweh and his precious son Yahshua together. And may the precious mercies of Yahweh never depart your households. Yisrael, let us stand, please. Abba Yahweh, we come before you today as we give great Torah unto you for the greatness of the gift of life, our health and strength. Even in the midst of our trials and our tribulation, we give you all the honor, the praise, and the glory that is due unto your everlasting name. We ask you, Abba Yahweh, to strengthen, to comfort, encourage us, and to keep us all when we're walking along the way, when we're riding, when we sit down in the comfort of our own homes. Please be with us, Abba Yah. Keep your Torah forever in our minds. Help us to walk up before you in a manner that's clean, honorable, and acceptable in your sight. We ask that you touch those that are yet to come unto you. Touch the hearts and minds of those that are yours, to awaken them, to stir them up to the profoundness of your righteous way of life. Touch those that are in need of healing, any that are sick, that are shut in, any that are afflicted. Be with the elders, be with the babies, those that have no power, even over their vessels at this precious time. We ask you, Yahweh, to remember all your people, those that stand in need of jobs, in need of food, clothing, or shelter, some that are sick, some that are shut up in prisons without due cause. We know that you know more about the situation and the cases of every Israelite wherever they are. We ask you, Abba Yah, according to the desires of their heart, if a thing is good, fair, just, and honorable in your sight, we ask that you withhold not that good thing unto those that are your children. And may the blessings of Israel rest upon all of us as your people until the appearing of your son, Yahshua. Let this simply say, hallelujah. We say, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Happy Shabbat unto you all, Yisrael. May the blessings of Yah never depart from your precious home. Shalom, shalom, dear Yisrael.